All right, here we go. Let's see how this goes. Welcome back, everybody, to Nerd Rage episode 342.
On the low. Keeping it smooth.
Do not adjust your dial. That's not your phone ringing.
It might be.
Stop patting your pockets.
Your phone shouldn't be ringing anyway.
Bobby.
Yo, Eric, you are live on Nerd Rage.
Live on Nerd Rage!
We were calling to wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, man, you guys didn't have to do that.
How you like that shit?
Let's go, man. We're great friends like you guys, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I'm going to let you get back to it, and we're going to get back to it, but I hope you have a good one.
Happy birthday, bro.
See you, Eric.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Love y'all.
Take care. Love you, too.
Peace.
All right. So, we just recorded a little ditty.
Something special.
I'm hoping to have out Friday on the channel, and I'll probably put the uncut on Patreon. Might as well.
You have your editing ahead of you.
I do have some editing ahead of me, but I haven't.
I didn't realize until Chris said something that this is going on your channel. I was like, oh wait, I didn't censor myself at all.
But I don't want it to be censored. I don't I want it to be real, and then I'll work around it for the sake of it.
I'm excited to see what it looks like after you get done.
It's like 3 minutes left.
Working your magic.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about it. And we were talking while you were on the phone. For the listeners, we had a top 5 conversation of top 5 Optimus Prime figures, and no debate in this one. Maybe one day we'll get a debate. This was just, we were kind of under the gun trying it out for the first time. But Joe and I were talking about like have some debate ones, have top 5 worst, like such and such,
Yeah.
So
there's
anyway.
a lot of different ways you can go with that. And people on the internet, I don't know if you know this, they fucking love lists.
Yeah,
I love it. That video, I guarantee you that video will perform if you put top 5 in the
Optimus Prime figures of all time. And I wanted to, say that like it's probably the most fun Transformers conversation that the 3 of us have had.
Maybe ever. Maybe ever.
I don't remember the last time we had one since maybe TFCon 5 years ago.
TFCon Chicago 2018 maybe.
Yeah, so good shit. We have a lot to get to today, and we are recording late in the afternoon, so we'll just go ahead and get to it. We already had kind of our warm up with the little top 5 conversation. So, Chris, you got your coffee first. Joe, how was your nerd week? And I need to make some notes real quick.
Watch some movies. I watched the newest James Bond, which I think came out last year. James Bond: No Time to Die.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Go for
in
it.
3, 2, 1. No Time to Die. He definitely had time to die because he died. First time in a James Bond movie where I saw James Bond died, and it was amazing.
Like, died forever? Like he's gone, or is it like a fake
it was
death?
Daniel Craig's last movie.
Right. So he dies at the end?
He's dead. He dies at the end. You said you didn't give a spoiler alert.
No, I don't, because
it was a good death. It was great. It was meaningful. Like he went out in a good way, and I think death sometimes is necessary for a good story. But yeah, he in this series, he's a tragic hero. Like he just a lot of bad things. Like if you watch these series and movies, like just bad shit happens to him all the time.
just like, are you talking about just Daniel Craig, or you?
Yeah, Daniel Craig.
Okay.
This series, as in like this run of Bond.
Have you seen all the Bond movies?
Every single
Either
Bond
one of
movie?
you
Yes,
guys?
I have. Some
I think I've only seen one Bond movie in my life.
I've seen them all. A lot of them only once.
Flex!
I don't know if that's how much of a flex, but the Daniel Craig ones are my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I guess the most grounded.
I'll fuck you up in Goldeneye. Facts. I'm gonna start saying facts when it's just opinion.
Yeah, that's fair.
Top 5 Prime facts. You should put that in the title. But yeah, I give it a recommend. We're actually gonna go back and watch the older
Quantum of Solstice. This is such dramatic name.
They're all like that. Octopussy.
That one,
Classic.
that always made me uncomfortable as a child.
How do you become
an octomom? It's by having an octopussy.
It's like so weird. You have 8. Are they like? How are they? Are they like a spider's eyes, or they're like all sort of?
Oh God. Octopi are crazy animals. You put 8 of them with vaginas.
Are they just like in a row? You know, like how you pussy and buttholes in the line. You just put the rest of them straight
just
up.
Keep going.
Sounds
up your
like
back.
Human Centipede 7 or something.
Give you something to do while you're dancing.
Oh man, it's like playing a fucking bass guitar, slap bass. That's how they did the Seinfeld.
Oh, you ready? God damn it, Christopher!
Beat him to it. That's how they did the Seinfeld intro.
That's just good. Watch the Adam Project on Netflix.
The Adam. Which Adam? There's lots of Adams.
It's this Adam.
It's not a celebrity named Adam that's about?
No, the character's name is Adam. It's
Okay.
called Adam. I assumed it was going to be a light, like, kids action adventure movie because that's what the trailer looks like. It's with Ryan Reynolds again. I've been watching a lot of Ryan Reynolds, and I didn't know till the end that there's the same director as Free Guy.
Okay.
So like the same pair, which makes sense of how I feel about the movie by the end. It's surprisingly fucking great. It's got incredible amount of heart. Like both me and Chris like teared up multiple times in the movie. So lots of parents and kids feels.
Love to hear it.
But like I think it's a little bit heavier than I don't think it's for kids. I think some of the themes might be too heavy for like kids. Maybe it's for like preteens maybe. But like I give it a recommend. Like I enjoyed the fuck out of Free Guy and I enjoyed the fuck out of this movie. So like I would look into what other things this guy has done. But yeah, that was surprisingly good. It was supposed to be just a time waster. You know, in movies, it's good when like you are putting it on background while you like either eating or like scrolling
And you
your
don't
phone,
get shit done.
and then you just like
Right?
like put your phone down and start watching. It's like, oh shit.
Can you recommend some marginally adequate movies for me to put on as background noise, guys?
I can recommend. Actually, I can recommend you. Well, no, because that would be distracting. I haven't stopped listening to creepypastas and No Sleep.
I've wandered a little bit into that.
I haven't mentioned it lately because like they're varying degrees of. There's some not so great ones, but there are a lot of like pretty good ones.
Yeah,
right?
I've ended up listening
and there's
to some
some
of that stuff.
really good ones. And then times when I mention them on here, they're really fucking good. So this week I actually had the pleasure of listening to two really fucking good ones. One is the Girl the Universe Forgot. Was like really, really good. Like it hit me real hard at the end.
Hilary Duff.
I didn't remember. Patrick Farmer
The
remembers.
Girl the Universe Forgot.
Yeah, The Girl the Universe Forgot. I can send you the link of because like some of these stories are read by multiple people. I'll send you the one that like I really enjoy. This guy that does all his own music and sound effects. Like he's like a composer. He makes the music for every single one of his narrations. So yeah,
Interesting.
custom where most people use stock sounds or stock background music, he makes his own music and he's really good at it. And the other one is more lighthearted than the Girl the Universe Forgot, which is pretty heavy. It's called "There's a Body in My Living Room and No One Else Can See It."
But it's a light story, right?
It's light. It's really fun. The characters are charming. Like the relationship between characters are endearing. Like it was, both of these are good enough for me to mention on here. Where I literally listen to like, I don't know, at least 7 to 10 stories a week. But yeah. And speaking of horror stuff, I did So You Like Horror podcast with Dante and
Oh, no
Bill.
shit.
Yeah, we talked about the Alien franchise.
Oh, nice.
With a lot.
Is it out? Is it out?
I don't think so.
I
We
don't
just
like,
recorded.
I don't like the alien movies. I'm glad
I don't-
nobody asked me to be
I
on.
don't think it
have
comes
time
out to
anyway.
April. It's like he records.
Oh, right.
Unlike us.
428 or whatever.
Yeah, unlike
Alien Day.
Yeah, right.
I was at 420. That's a different Alien Day.
It's a different.
So 8 days later, Xenomorphs come.
Yeah.
but yeah, he actually plans things way in advance, and
Good for him.
unlike some of us.
I don't know who that's a jab
Yeah,
at, but I'll take partial charge.
I think it's at all of us.
There's strays being fired everywhere.
Just a fraud.
just trying to fire.
So Joe's not on Facebook to throw just random shade at people, so he just doesn't know.
Yeah, I didn't even know I was invited to Skullfest till like just now. When they were talking about Skullfest, I was like, "Oh, did this one this year?" He's like, "Yeah, you invited, bro." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I guess I was." And lastly, I watched The Last Duel, which was recommended by tons of people.
I still haven't watched it. Is there cool diorama ideas in there for me? Because that's the main reason I want to watch it.
Nothing out of the ordinary that you wouldn't already see.
Probably nothing out of the ordinary, but some of the places like where they're having like the big meals and the bedroom, it's just something different. But I don't know what a bedroom would do for a display.
What
but
it do, Bobby?
I would rather watch The Witcher for
Oh, okay.
that kind of stuff.
I've been actually meaning to get back to that.
Okay, so I can say this, and I there's some soul searching for myself, because you know how I always talk about lately in the later years that like I have a hard time getting into things that gets me worked up, and I think I know what it is. after this movie, it's good. It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, acting's great. Story is great and compelling because it's based on a real story.
Mm-hmm.
Told in multiple point of views, which get you to think how, in real life, you should take a step back and
Perspective.
think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
When it's he says, she says kind of things. But it's infuriating. It makes me angry a lot. And between the other movies I watched this week and this one, I'm like, they're all good, but I don't want to watch this one. I prefer to cry. I don't want to be angry. I think I'm angry all the time, and I just want to do a cry when I watch stuff.
And do a cry. See, I think. Well, I
That
mean,
makes sense. I don't want to watch something that makes me angry.
Yeah,
I don't.
it depends.
That goes back to that whole entertainment conversation we had.
Yeah.
last week.
So let me say, I don't want to watch anything that makes me angry either. But just because there are themes in movies that might make me angry, if I was watching it on the news, there is a disconnect for me sometimes where I think, and I think we've had this conversation on here before, but sometimes I'm like, man, fuck it, somebody's life was shittier than mine. I have this little bit in me.
Yeah, and it's varying degrees, right? Like, of course, some things are going to make you angry in a movie. It's supposed to, because there's got to be conflict in it. But there's like, it escalates to a certain point where I'm not having a good time, even though it's a good thing I'm watching, because like I'm now emotionally compromised, especially if it's like too close to home, too close to the shit that does happen in real life. So yeah, I'd rather, because like I always say, something is good if it elicits an emotion, right? A strong emotion. Comedy is great, makes you laugh, but like that doesn't necessarily make you happy, because laughing and being entertained is not necessarily an emotion.
Agreed.
But something that makes me happy, that's amazing.
Agreed.
But it's rare. So things that make you angry or sad is much easier to do. So I'd rather watch something that makes me cry than makes me angry. So that's what a conversation I had with myself the other night.
No, I think that's introspective. I like it.
Definitely.
I think I enjoy both, and I think I enjoy the happiness too. I think it is more rare. But I think we were talking about the comfort media. It's like the question, like, when I watch episode 4, I get happy. Like when you're playing with that Prime, it made you happy. Correct. But like when I watch episode 5, it makes me sad. And I enjoy episode 5 more than 4.
That makes sense for you.
But
I mean, no shade, but it does.
Yeah.
And clever. I mean, like, and I would say I prefer to cry, not necessarily just because sad. And it's like crying isn't always a sad thing. It's just emotional. Something like just hits you hard and makes you tear up. Doesn't necessarily, it doesn't have to be tragic.
Yeah. It's funny. I was listening. I'm catching up on my best ofs for the year so far. And I was listening to, I think, 338, 339, somewhere around there. And we had this conversation about, it's just something I love about doing this show, but we had this conversation about COVID, pharmacology, all of this stuff. It was political. We all had difference of opinion. Joe Rogan was part of the conversation. We had these differences of opinion. We weren't arguing, but we were definitely debating ideas and concepts. And then right after that, we got to a MILF conversation, like almost like immediately, like the next step forward. It wasn't like a gradual thing. It was like the next step forward was a MILF conversation. Like I do enjoy that.
It's all about that one transition. I don't know what it was, but
can you ever? Can you, like, off the top of your head, because I just thought of it and I can't. Can you think of a time when the three of us argued ever?
Argued? No.
Nah.
I don't think so.
Nope, not argued.
Is that bad? Because it's something everyone needs to fight, right? Or something like
We
that.
have heated conversations.
Yeah.
But it isn't. I think if you argue with somebody, you're going to have animosity moving forward. I just, my opinion. Like, you can have a heated conversation, a passionate conversation. But we all. The other thing is we all know each other pretty well, and we appreciate each other's opinions most of the time, Bob.
The funny thing about that statement is I don't know if he's saying that I don't appreciate people's opinions or if he appreciates everybody's opinions but mine.
Hey, fucking straight shots everywhere.
Tomato.
Yeah. I think that might be the name of the episode. I'm just going to write it down just in case.
The second tomato has 2 A's. Just how you
straight shots.
Oh, I thought you meant tomato. I'm sorry. I have no idea where you were, Joe.
No, just I was done with my week. I was just.
But I'll tell you this: I think we've all hurt each other. Well, let me say, I don't know if you two have ever hurt each other. I think that I've hurt you. Mm-hmm. I think that you've hurt me. Mm-hmm. I think that I've hurt you. I think that you've hurt me. But I think that we've all...
Joe, we got to figure out how to hurt each other.
Yeah. In a fucked up way.
I'm not going to...
And not with lasers
or pegging. Those are two things that aren't allowed.
But I do think that there's another I'm not going to plug them because they don't cut me a check, but there's another podcast that I listen to, these two guys, and they often disagree. Mm-hmm. They passionately disagree about media, about the same shit that we disagree about, but they disagree in the most fucking healthy way I've ever witnessed in my life. And I don't know how they do it. It's like, it would be like you thought Batman was an A-. I think Batman is a C+, right? And I'm making my points about it, and you're enjoying my points as much as you enjoyed the movie, and vice versa. Or except I'm enjoying it more than I enjoyed the movie. And they don't ever get upset by even though when
are they real life friends?
Crazy, yeah. But it's it's still I don't think I've ever had that sort of disagreement with anybody ever. So I it's got to be me, right? But,
no, me either.
But anyway, I think that the art of disagreeing, the art of debate, the art of argumenting or argumentative conversation, I think there's an art to it, and I think that you sometimes you learn from the experiences of it and hopefully get better at doing it. I think that I think that what makes a lot of the debates that I can only speak for me, that I try to have with you guys is, I know now anyway, and I don't know where I was 3 years ago, but I don't enter into that conversation with the intent to disprove you. All I want to do is explain why I feel the way I feel about something.
Mm-hmm. And you do a good job of that.
Yeah.
I mean, you really do a good job of not attacking other people's opinions that are almost always completely different than yours. Bobby, you came up last night on Enter the Realm, actually.
No kidding.
Your Batman take.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I told them I wanted to sit down with you and get the AFI 100 and have you put them in order. And then you could say Batman falls between Rear Window and I don't know, on Golden Pond. That's where that Batman falls. Just so the rest of us understand your scale a little bit.
Well, it's funny. I got this past week.
Hate mail.
This past week, I got probably the most responses from a Nerd Rage episode that I've gotten in a long time. Even when sometimes I'm like, oh, that was gonna blow my mind. You know what I mean? And it doesn't necessarily, but this one it did, and it was almost 50-50.
Yeah,
it was people saying exactly what you said. I need to understand. Well, Billy, shout out to Billy, is the one that stands out in my mind. He was one of many. Where he said, I need to understand how, he said he's confused like you, that how he can be entertained and not think it's quality. That there's a separation there between the entertainment and quality in media. And I don't want to debate that. I gave a response to him that I thought about for a bit, because I was like I could go have Popeyes right now and be full
until you shit yourself.
But if it was your birthday and we went to some place that I'd never heard of, and maybe even the food was average, but the time was great.
Sure.
I'm going to always remember that. Whereas this Popeyes event was just one Popeyes event and a string of Popeyes events that filled me up and gave me the nutrients to survive, or whatever the case may be. But it won't stand the test of time. But but then I had other people writing in, they're Bobby's right. He's speaking. It's funny because both sides, I think, feel pretty passionately about it. Both sides are like Bobby's wrong. Joe's speaking for all of us. Bobby's right. He's speaking for all of us. They're the amount of comic book movie style content that's coming out is just so soulless and formulaic now, and so lacking the heart that. And I think that there's. I get both sides, but I mean, anytime that I get a response, even if it was a 99%, Joe's got everything right, but his wardrobe.
What is this, Chris Gaines?
Hey, listen.
Soft the baby bottom.
There is not a finer piece of clothing in the world.
I'll say there's not a
tank top.
finer piece of Chris Gaines tank top in the world. But like, even if that was the response,
It's probably the best gift I've ever given.
and possibly, and the output.
Other than seats, the beaded
seats get a lot. People at my job still talk about it. Like every now and then, like if there's like a quiet moment in my job, somebody would be like, "Hey man, them bead seats in your car."
We still play with that banana that you gave us, so to speak. It's on my dining room table. We fuck with it every fucking day.
But
keep that thing on me.
Regardless of whether it was 99% in your favor or 50-50, which is what this one tended to kind of be, anytime I get an outpouring of that, I know it was a good discussion because it gets people to have a reaction.
You need to have different sides of a good discussion.
Of course.
When everyone's like, yes, perfect.
It's a worst.
Moving along now.
I mean, there's two conversations I dread here. One is when we all agree non-passionately.
Right.
It's like, that's okay.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's fine. Or when 2 out of 3 or none out of 3 give a shit.
Yeah.
Those are the worst.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. I don't know how we got there, but
This nut rich.
Yeah. Is that it for you?
Yeah,
Joe?
that's me.
Well, I'm going to start out with some sad news and a quote. Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
tell me. Wait, don't tell me. Put my fingers on my forehead.
You don't know this.
Razor Ramon.
Yep. Actually, it is.
Yep.
I saw the highlights in there.
So
It's in the notes.
It's Razor's
I know
Edge
it
is my
is, but
favorite.
I wanted to talk
Razor's
about it.
Edge is my favorite move of all time. I talk about it on Twitch all the time.
It's great.
That's how I put kids to sleep.
Scott Hall passed away. He had I think he broke his hip.
He's had issues for a long time.
He has
some demons, just like they all.
Yeah, he does.
Do.
But there's a little bit of a redemption arc here with him. But unfortunately, he had a blood clot. He had 3 heart attacks back to back to back. They took him off life support yesterday, and dude hung around for like 7 hours, and finally passed away. He passed away. He was, man. It's an interesting story, and Bobby, I doubt you know this about him, but Scott Hall was Razor Ramon. You may remember Razor Ramon.
I know the name.
He probably wrestled Doink at some point in time.
Did he win?
Hey, yo.
Hope not.
And it's funny, you're talking about sad. Last night after we found out while we were doing our live show, which was kind of a bummer, and I went back and I was watching a bunch of his old promos and just just remembering some stuff, and it shook a memory loose that I'd totally forgotten about. I think I had the perfect celebrity interaction with Scott Hall. Let me tell you, I'm in the Atlanta airport. Bless up that I was in the Atlanta airport. I'm coming out of the bathroom and I see Scott Hall. Scott Hall's a big guy. He's my height.
Damn.
I say, what's up, Scott? He says, what's up, brother? And they did this thing called the Too Sweet. So you touch like this. He held it up. I popped him. We walked away.
That was it.
I got everything I needed out of that.
That's perfect.
Like, man, that's
the
fucking perfect. Didn't
interaction.
have time to get disappointed.
Of course.
And it was so strange because I think he was going in the bathroom and we just caught each other's eye.
Correct.
So,
oh man,
yeah, and I don't know, man. Just like I got back into wrestling because of the NWO, and he was literally the first one. You don't know why I'm here. You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here.
My buddy
Changed
Mario,
the fucking game.
My buddy Mario passed. He was a huge wrestling fan as well, and huge NWO fan.
Oh man,
had that,
such good stuff.
The hat. Had the
with the hat to match,
had the t-shirt, just a
denim jacket.
Loved it.
Yeah,
loved it.
So a little bit of sad news. You always hate to hear it. I saw a video of him I think it was last weekend doing autographs. He's not in good shape, but his redemption arc. So he had a drug and alcohol problem for years and years and years.
I like him already.
Diamond Dallas Page. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I've heard of him.
DDP Yoga. He took Scott Hall out of rehab and took him to his house and basically gave him 10 more years of his life.
Nice.
By getting him in shape, getting him clean. Jake the Snake Roberts also was involved in this. There's a documentary about Jake the Snake Roberts that actually chronicles some of the Scott Hall stuff. So that, man, to get 10 more years of your life, I mean, I give all the credit in the world to DDP for taking care of that guy.
Better quality.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
he's a 2-time Hall of Famer in the WWE Hall of Fame. He was able to do that in this time.
Yeah,
it's always sad to see somebody go. And I get this. I don't know how to explain this. I feel sad for the people that are close to these people because I almost feel a way about, there's a lot of horrible shit going on in the world right now. And I'm upset about this quote unquote character. That's a real person that I grew up, liking that I had somewhat of an attachment to, but you're like, but what about Kevin Nash, who was his tag team partner for like 30 years? Diesel.
Yeah, it was Diesel.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, it's just it's not fair to compare. I think you can compartmentalize things, and you don't have to say this thing isn't so bad because there's something worse. They're both separately bad things, and you don't have to scale them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I feel that way sometimes when I'm like, oh fuck, the goddamn my electrical outlet's out again, and then it's like, well, there's a lot of other bad shit in the world. It's like, yeah, but they're both bad.
Maybe that's not the best example.
Yeah, maybe it's not.
But I mean, like, you know, it was just like I like that sit down Saturday I did this past week with the toy prices increasing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, I just needed to make a quick little point of like, look, this sucks.
Yeah.
And it sucks for all of us. And it's going to suck for years to come.
Yeah.
But we're not being chased out of buildings, of apartments for fucking bombardment of shelling for days and days and days, and living in a fucking subway with our cat. That's what we're not doing.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I mean, if you look at the rate of inflation, those prices aren't. We're behind. You know.
Yeah.
We're behind.
It's about perspective.
It is.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't mean that you can't complain.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you keep perspective.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Like, you shouldn't feel bad about feeling bad for other things.
Dude, sometimes I think that complaints are needed. Like, and I'm generally like a shut the fuck up about it kind of guy, like in my regular life, but like I do think there's something healthy about, like, it's just like this, like I've seen people that like have been spent, you know, physically spent, and they're like, man, fuck this bullshit, and then they can get up and go again. You know, it's like they just need to fucking relief stat,
so that little,
you know, and then they can get back to reality. There goes gravity, and there goes gravity. And got some spaghetti.
Animal, banana.
So let me move off the sad stuff for the moment. I watched well, it's not a documentary. I don't know what it is. It's on HBO Max. It's called Winning Time. It's about the Lakers, the building of the Lakers dynasty. Wow. You need to watch that, Bobby.
It's not a doc?
It's not. It's a
dramatization of it?
Yeah. So John C. Reilly plays.
It's already in.
John C. Reilly.
What's it called?
I think it's called Winning Time. It's about the building of the Lakers dynasty. So Jerry Buss, who bought the Lakers. The first episode, I guess they're just doing it an episode at a time, which I know Joe's a big fan of. It's basically talking about how he bought the Lakers, and he did not have the money to do it. He somehow figured out how to move. He was kind of I don't know. They don't go into a full backstory on Jerry Buss, but it sounds like he was a pretty shady dude.
Perhaps not all in the up and up.
He hung out a lot with Hugh Hefner in the grotto and whatnot.
Who could blame him?
You know, and then the story of how Magic Johnson came to be on their team, and like a lot of the players on the team didn't want him there because I don't know if you know this, Magic Johnson's like
has AIDS or HIV.
He does have HIV, as far as we know.
Yeah, really. He's the one that found out the cure, right? His money.
I mean, yeah, the cure's money. Yeah. I think honestly, Magic Johnson got HIV around the time where they're like, well, we have really expensive drugs that one day will be available to common people, but you can afford it. Nonetheless, before he did that,
and God bless him,
it tells a story of his dad was a garbage man in, I think, Lansing, Michigan. And, he was getting signed, and I guess the draft situation worked differently than it does now. Like, it was between the Lakers and I don't remember what the other team was, but it's very interesting. It's a very stylized story. It's definitely got a little flash to it. But it was fucking great. I'm looking forward to watching more of it as it comes on HBO.
It's a show.
It's a show.
Oh, okay.
It's a show.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is just the first episode.
Copy.
That's out.
Copy. Understood.
Dioramas.
Diarrhea.
Worked on dioramas a lot this week. We're going to Toylanta this weekend.
You're going to be in Atlanta again. Huh? Going to Atlanta again. Bless up.
Yes, bless up. So I'm in a group chat with all the people in this group that I'm going with, and someone said something about, I don't know, something about their flight, and they're like, I'll just wander around Atlanta at night. And I said, you're not built for that. And he's like, oh, I don't mind being unclean. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. You're just not built for Atlanta at night.
Yeah, I've been only in a layover. I've never really been in the city proper.
Well, it isn't. We're in Marietta, which is like an hour north. Mm-hmm. It's almost like saying you're in Frederick, but you're in Baltimore.
I got you.
So busting ass on that. We watched the new Disney Plus Pixar, Turning Red.
Okay.
I heard it was really good. Some people have been watching it multiple times already.
There's a couple things that drive me nuts about it. The characters get anime eyes when they're sad or happy.
Good.
Just you find it distracting. It takes you out of it.
It seems out of place because the Pixar seems to have a very
style,
cut and dry, and I mean they're all. There's theories about all of them are kind of sort of interlinked. There's all little
because it's like Easter eggs and all of them.
And I kept on looking for Easter eggs in this. I'm like, oh, I'm seeing anime ass. But it was a really cute movie. It was a lot about the culture of with the pandas and what that means. The red pandas.
Oh, my kids watched it this past week.
Yeah, it's about red pandas.
Yeah, it's about red pandas.
Are they not real pandas?
They're real pandas.
Okay, they are. I just keep going back.
They must have liked it because Selena has made her avatar on everything a red panda.
Well, Charlie actually wanted to watch it, and he never wants to watch movies, so we sat down and we watched it with him. Daylight savings time fucked me up. I'm gonna be honest. This is probably the first time I can remember in my life. I did not realize that it happened until like 4:00 that day.
So we didn't realize probably till 10 or 11.
I got up and I went straight to because I had a ton of shit I needed to do.
Right.
I just went straight to the shop. My phone changed. My computer changed.
Yeah.
And Kelly came up to me. It was like, it may have been 2 or 3. She's like, the time changed today. Is that why I'm so fucking tired? Well, and it's fucked me up, dude. I cannot.
Don't get me heated.
I hate it.
I fucking argue every time the shit.
I'm okay with it, but I'll tell you that like, whatever it is, like I like.
It seems like it's early this year.
I like the longer days.
No, but like, fine, but keep it one way.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
The problem with switching back and forth that has no actual reason. Like, no one can definitively tell me what the purpose is.
It was for like farmers or some shit.
Some shit like that. Yeah. But like for like everybody else in the world right now, it just fucks you up.
Yeah.
Like if you look up the mortality rate.
It doesn't bother me.
Like
but people fucks people up.
Like death rate goes up, fucking suicide rate goes up, so accidents go up.
That's sad, man. That's sad.
But I should have known because I fucking slept till 7 a.m.
Instead of 6?
Yeah, I woke up. Well, 6 is even like whoa, look what we did. But like I woke up and it was like 6:56 and I was like, son of a bitch, who's 16 again?
Yeah, I kind of felt that way too when I woke up. I went and saw Batman again.
Nice.
Me and Mason wanted to go, and he asked his friends, and no one could go. I'm like, I'd love to see it again. There's so much shit in that movie to unpack. Like, I saw so much shit this time that I didn't see last time for whatever reason. They did a great job, I think, trying to make this as realistic as possible. And one thing, it's always driven me nuts when it's like, oh, I'm Bruce Wayne, turn around the corner now, I'm Batman.
Is the eye makeup.
The eye makeup. And I didn't catch it, but it shows him putting it on.
Yeah. And it shows him looking like the Crow a bunch of times, too.
Yeah.
I think Kick-Ass started that with Nicolas Cage.
Probably. Yeah, but,
he did that when he transformed.
For a Batman
with his
movie.
fake goatee. Dude. Speaking of Nicolas Cage, I have seen the trailer. I am very excited about this movie coming out.
Just the one where he plays himself.
Everything I want it to be and more.
That's exciting.
Dude, it's already an A+ in my book. It's him and Din Djarin fucking going on an adventure.
Your inbox probably looked like Bobby Skullface's when the Obi Wan trailer dropped.
Yes. And I appreciate every person who thought of me and tagged me.
I know.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to it. He is playing himself, but in a fictional situation. Mm-hmm. Where Din Djarin is like a big Nicolas Cage fan who's also some kind of crime boss, and then they became buddies, and then I think some kind of FBI or CIA wanted Nicolas Cage to be their mole. It's fucking hilarity ensues. It's great. Have you seen the trailer?
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks like it's going to be good.
Bro, it's everything I want.
So back to Batman. Couple more things I noticed. Mm-hmm. And this is to your point about the Falcone backstory, not getting it all. I almost think they don't tell you that stuff on purpose because and this may be some sort of like, how do I say this? Political commentary on disinformation. Uh-huh. Because he gets told two completely different things.
Correct.
He gets told, Falcone tells him what he tells him.
And then Alfred.
Which that scene drives me nuts. That dude's fucking dying, and he wakes up and not, oh, I'm so glad you're okay. You lied to me.
So I like that.
I didn't like that.
Because that's very Batman.
It is, but it's, I don't know.
He's an asshole.
He ain't got no bedside manner, for sure.
No, he does not.
Well, also,
that's a fact.
Isn't it priorities, though, in life? Sometimes your priorities take over precedence to something else, even regardless how important it is.
I get that. It's just like, come on, man.
But it's like, to him, like, being lied to is more important than that guy dying, perhaps. Is what I haven't watched the movie.
I think that's true for Batman with everybody. with Dick, so to speak, with with Selena, with fucking everybody is you know, like I have to be able to trust you, especially with my lifestyle.
Yeah.
My lifestyle trusting was a Batman.
So discretion is
going
important.
To punch people.
Discretion is important.
Do you guys remember in
Hey. Kelly could be a boy's name too.
That's right. So, you know, in the Frank Miller Batman Dark Knight, what do they call them? The mutant leaders, followers, they become the Batman disciples.
Yeah.
Do you think people how do I say this? The people who would get caught up in something like that are gonna, if one thing ends of that nature, they're just gonna hop on right to the next one?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason there's a point to this. In the beginning, the first fight scene we see with Batman is he's fighting the Joker
clowns.
guys. And what does he say his name is? Vengeance, right?
Vengeance.
At the end, when he's taking down the Riddler guys, he takes they take the mask off, and he says, "What's your name?" He says, "Vengeance." I'm not sure, and I probably need to deep dive this. I think that may be one of the same guys that was a Joker guy.
I mean, like,
I'm not.
you a lot of times flat earthers come from chemtrail people, which came from Holocaust denial, whatever the fuck it is. It's like one thing and the next for a certain type of personas.
Hurt people, Chris.
They do. And the last thing that, and this is just something silly that kind of irks me. So the last scene is them at the mausoleum or whatever, and she's standing there, and he just all of a sudden he's there, right? And she's like, you don't say hi or anything. Like she was startled. And then the motherfucker gets on a motorcycle that's 3 feet away. What, you got an electric bike over here?
He pushed it up there.
I guess he did.
Just walked it up.
I guess he did. And I don't know if this showing, it was a brighter showing or something, but like the time we saw it the first time, you literally couldn't make out the Joker at all in that last scene, but you could definitely see
some of his eyes and
like his teeth and stuff. So, I don't know, man. I like the way he looks in the suit now. It's growing on me, definitely. And I'm excited to see what this does in the future. My guess is the next movie will be like maybe 5 years later, and Bruce will have had to become Bruce Wayne, you know, business suit and haircut and all, to accomplish what he wants. So that's just my thoughts on it. And that's all. I want to have a conversation with you.
Yes.
So last week you said something, and I actually went back and listened to it again to make sure I understood what you said. You said, basically that it was about taxes, but in that you had mentioned that you looked at the success that Crashbox has against what you have, and you know, you felt like, well, not necessarily what am I doing wrong, but
yeah, like,
and I think it boils down to like, what do we consider successful, right? I think all of us in our careers are successful, right?
Sure.
Well,
I'd say
you have a success.
I would say I'm making money. I'm not sure if I would say I'm successful.
Okay, that's another good point.
That's not the same thing.
What would it take for you to consider yourself to be successful with your main job? Your job that you go, your 9 to 5, so to speak.
I don't have a 9 to 5.
You know what I mean, though.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, part of the thing is, if I look. All
right. Well, let's just disregard the 9 to 5.
No. I'm saying 9 to 5 as in like you have a regular ass job, one job that you worry about. I don't have that. Regardless of the fact that I do get all the hours I want, right? That's a me personal thing.
Okay.
But the fact is, I could lose either job at any time, and fuck me. Like, I don't have a career. I don't have a full-time job. I don't have benefits. I don't have a steady anything. I've made it work, and it works well for me because the job itself pays well. And I do well enough to where people, like, I'm not hurting for hours.
Do your parents think you're successful?
My parents are fucking biased. I'm sure they think I'm successful.
Okay.
Isn't that a faux pas for Chinese parents?
I'm 1/8 Portuguese. 1/8 Portuguese, like, gives me that leeway. I was like, I'm not full, so
The man of war.
But yeah, like I don't consider myself. I don't have a career path trajectory. I don't have retirement. I'm not kidding. Like I plan to work till I die, or I plan to work till I can't work anymore, and then I'll figure out what happens after that. And luckily, because I get paid well, my Social Security should be well, because Social Security, if it still exists, is based on how much you paid into it, and I've been paying a good amount into it, and that's my only plan. I have no, so I don't. I have a well-paying job that supports my lifestyle, and I'm happy with my lifestyle. But I don't consider I have a career even.
But what you just said to me outlines success. That you have the job pays
currently.
Okay. Yeah. Well, listen. Anything can happen tomorrow. I don't want to say anything out loud.
Yeah. But it's a little different where my position as either company could just stop giving me hours without firing me. I could just not have work anymore. And my field is really hard and competitive. That's one of the reasons why I don't have, after 10 years, I don't have a regular ass job.
Right.
Because I did stop trying, because I am happy with status quo.
I think being happy is a big part of me,
and it's competitive. When I did try, it was hard. Yeah. It's hard to So, but yeah, I'm making money. I can say that.
Okay, Bobby.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm in a different boat. So there's people that are in my career, in my position, that would say where I'm at is not successful. However, they didn't come from where I come from.
Sure,
I never thought in a fucking million years I would be in the position that I'm in. So I'm like, sometimes I can't believe these motherfuckers are giving me what they're giving me. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Just like, but so yeah.
I think outside looking in, because I consider you successful. I mean, not just money wise, because obviously money wise, like looking around the place we live and have family and kids.
Correct.
But you have a path. You've been on this path, and you know when you can choose to end this path with benefits,
all that stuff for sure.
So
but I'm saying there's people
who does better.
In my job, they'd be like, well, you should have promoted by now. You should have been this by now. You should you shouldn't be mopping floors by the time you're 45, period.
You should be telling people to mop the floors.
Yeah.
So,
but I feel successful.
Okay.
That's great.
Well, what about, you've got, you mentioned it, side hustle, 20 different directions, right?
Correct.
What is it that you think that Crashbox is accomplishing that you're not with this side hustle that we're both doing from different angles?
I think it's when I look at it's so tricky to navigate this conversation and not have to feel like I gotta fucking shore it up and buffer it.
Just have the conversation.
I don't want it to come across any kind of way because I'm proud of what you do.
No, I understand that.
I brag about what you do.
I appreciate that.
But when I see that you did in the first quarter of 2022 what I did in the whole year almost of 2021, I'm like, man, fuck did I go wrong in this shit? That's what I mean.
Okay.
And I might be exaggerating the numbers, but I might not.
So are you basing it on the numbers alone?
Yeah.
Just okay. We bust. You bust your ass for what you do.
Correct.
And we bust our ass for what we do.
Correct.
It's a different lane.
Yeah.
That's
correct.
All it is.
But
because I do about the same things what a fast food worker does mostly.
I think I bust my ass. I don't want to make it a comparison of who busts their ass more.
No.
Because when the game is on, you guys bust your ass.
Right.
But you guys aren't. You guys play seasons.
We do, and I mentioned that earlier, like we were talking about.
And I'm in a full year grind.
You are.
And that I think is where I'm like, and it's like on one side it's like I'm proud and I'm happy and I'm bigging you up, and on the other side I'm like, man, but what could I be doing?
I think it's because it's almost comparing apples to oranges, because it's it's side hustles, but it's two different career paths. You guys aren't doing the same thing, so
Agreed.
you can't compare. In that sense,
and I don't want to make it seem like I'm comparing in that way.
Right. But because you're saying he's more successful in a certain respect with numbers, right?
Yeah,
And playing in seasons where your numbers might not match up, and you're grinding all year round.
Yeah,
but they're two different jobs.
No, I get, and I'm not like sitting in a corner underneath a coffee table.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not
Bobby under glass.
It's more almost like it's not like I'm down on myself. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm like it's challenging me to think of like, man, what could I be doing to put myself in an even better spot? You know, like that, like. You know, we all got the same 24 hours in a day, right? But like, what am I putting time towards that maybe I should not invest as much time into, and perhaps invest that time into something else that maybe, you know what I mean? Shit like that. Like, that's what I mean by it.
I got you. Yeah, just kind of stuck with me over the past week, you know. I just wanted to flesh that out a little bit with you. Actually, we'll talk off air. I have a couple ideas for you.
So actually, I do too.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Meeting of the mind.
Yeah.
How was your nerd week, Bobby?
I'm glad you asked. So, all right, nerd week. Gotta find that note. All right. I had an editing nightmare happen this past week.
Bro.
Oh, man.
Bro. 5 videos with no audio.
Dude, I busted my ass. I was so far behind in reviews. I've been talking about it on here, like boxes and boxes and boxes of shit. And I was like, man, I had a day off, and I was like, I'm pushing through this shit. My kids were sick, so like we weren't going anywhere. So like, it's not like Laura and I need to like be attached to the hip. You know, she got some laundry done or whatever the fuck she does.
Does she blow bubbles and shit?
Blow bubbles and talk shit. Yeah. And then so I grinded, and by Wednesday close of business, I had done every review. I had done, and I had Sit Down Saturday done. And I mean, I was like on top of the world. Like, I'm cooking for the kids, I'm dancing, I'm spinning around. Laura comes home, I got a glass of wine ready for her. I'm like, I finished the review, we give a toast, have a sip. How was your day? Blah blah. And I'm like, man, I really would like you to watch this this Sit Down Saturday I did on toy prices increasing, because I think this is one of those ones that like won't perform well, but like I'm really proud of the message, and
I liked it.
It was good.
I enjoyed it a lot.
So like I was like, here we go. I'll press play. And I was like, hold on. I hit the volume all the way up. Oh, sometimes my phone fucks up. I put the from silent to...
You're right.
Huh. And then it clicked on me. And I was like, the whole day, all my videos have been taking extra long to export, as if something was wrong.
Oh, no.
And I was like, fuck. And I backed out of that video, and I hit a video I made last week. That bitch, like the music came on a bitch. I was like, motherfucker. So like I went in, I tried to fix it. There was no fixing it.
Did you just record over? Or, I mean, it's kind of hard to sometimes.
Luckily, all of the filmed stuff was still in my trash bin on my desktop. With one exception, for whatever reason, my Sit Down Saturday, that filming was gone.
Oh.
So I had to redo that one, which was the bitch of the bunch. But it was fine. I got it done. And then I just had to take everything and re-edit everything again and find the right clips. Because now they're not like, when I film it, it's all in order, right? But like, my files are like, I don't name them properly, right? So it's like it's like C0001, C0002.
Yep.
So like, if I do a review on the Uncle Dolphin figure, C001, and then I import that and I edit that.
That's a seamless body, right?
Yeah, for sure. I edit that, all that. I delete it all off my camera, and then I go do my Chris Pinkerton figure. That's C001, C0, and then so now my computer has 2 C001 files. So I had to find each one, put it back in order, re-edit everything. Long story short, I was able to complete it by Thursday, so I did catch up. It was just one of those fucking pain in the ass.
So did you figure out what the problem was?
Nope.
Oh man. So are you just going to double check?
Well, I'm going to double check everything now for sure. And 2, I'm going to make sure that if it's exporting and taking like a significantly longer time than it should, that red flag.
That's strange.
That's strange. It took longer to be more fucked up. It went up so quick.
It's
Time
probably
as
some
usual.
back-end coding bullshit that got clogged up.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, who knows? That sucks though, man. I hate that for you.
Yeah, me too. So I watched a movie at Jisk's recommendation, Eyes of Tammy Faye on HBO Max. It's about a cult of sorts.
Isn't
Tammy Faye Baker.
Isn't she like a celebrity?
Religious person.
Jim Baker's wife.
Yes.
Yeah, I know all about Tammy Faye.
So the movie's fucking awesome.
Alabama?
Really?
It's fucking awesome. Yeah.
I think they're from the Carolinas, to be honest. But I remember seeing her crying on the fucking
700
TV
Club and all
every
that
day.
shit. So does Laura. I never saw it.
I remember
700 Club still comes on.
Really? Isn't it something with you donating $700?
I don't know. I don't know what the 700 means.
But these evangelicals basically that ask for money and then they use the money for all sorts of fucked up shit and got caught. He went to jail, et cetera, et cetera. And that you can watch how the drama plays out if you want to watch the movie on your own, listeners. But Andrew Garfield's in it, gives a great performance.
Oh, this isn't a documentary.
No,
where is this?
On HBO Max.
Of course.
What you call I forget who plays Tammy Faye. She does great, and then Vincent D'Onofrio's in it and is great as usual.
Nice.
So yeah, that was fantastic. I watched Bad Roommates. Or whatever that was.
Roommates. How was it?
So, great stories. It reminded me a bit of, in a way, of the Toys That Made Us or whatever.
Yes.
Like, it's told in an overly dramatic way. It's like, and then it was chung chung. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
it's like,
yes.
you know, but the stories themselves, pretty interesting.
I mean, it was
funny,
it was
fucked
pretty
up.
dramatic. When you think murder is involved, and then
Yeah,
you know,
but there's a way. I watch a lot of documentaries
Yes.
about murder. I can tell you that this was zesty.
You making the Law and Order noise remind me. I've been continuing to watch this. Hey, sound guy, we need the Law and Order noise.
like a DMCA for that.
I've been watching this, and I think the first one was Epstein-ish. No, Bill Cosby-ish. I don't remember the second one. The third one was, you guys remember, and it may not even hit your radar. There was this girl who went missing, and her boyfriend, they were doing the van life thing. Are you guys familiar with this? These people take like a transit van and they convert it into a camper and they travel all over the country. There was a movie about it, had Frances McDormand in it. It was up for a bunch of Academy Awards.
Key grip.
By the way, we got corrected. It's not Gaffer, it's Gaffer.
Oh, there we go.
Shout out to Daniel H. He corrected me on that. Where was I?
This movie about
There's somebody in it.
and
Somebody that I don't know.
Yeah, anyways, that was the premises. She had come to New York and was doing the van life, and this dude killed her, and they never did find the body. And the back, obviously, if you don't know, Law and Order's the police side, and then it's the DA side. So I've been continue to enjoy that weekly as it comes on.
Did you enjoy Worst Roommates?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you would like it.
I like that it's something put on the background while I'm doing.
Yes,
you know what
yes,
I mean?
yes.
But
not something to watch.
But yeah. I think I've watched 2 or 3 episodes now, but they've all been pretty interesting, or little twists of fate, and some of them had that. It's surprising me how long
stories.
they're able to carry on these scams before sometimes not getting caught at all.
Yes.
I watched a Vice documentary.
Okay.
About Siberian Jesus.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that one.
It's pretty great.
I prefer Jack Crane Jesus.
So this guy basically came about after the fall of the USSR, and he won't say that he's Jesus, but he walks like Jesus, he talks like Jesus. Like, he's got like a cult that lives out in Siberia, some fucking where, and they get to see him a couple times a year and all this shit. But it's pretty interesting.
There's a Filipino one too.
Is there?
Yeah.
Jeez,
I watch a lot of these types of
one
video
thing
on
you
YouTube.
can't say, Jesus is inclusive.
Pretty much.
I watched a movie called Nomadland. It's it was up for a whole bunch of awards.
Does that Frances McDormand, and it is about the van life?
Oh, I didn't know that was called Van Life.
I have not seen the light come on in your eyes like that in a long time.
Yes. So I didn't know
Wait, so
that.
you guys watched the same movie?
So I didn't, and I don't know who that woman is, but yes.
Well, she was in the movie Fargo a million years ago, and she's the lead actress in that movie.
Yeah. So
how was that?
So it's a good story with good acting. However, I feel like it could have been told in 20 minutes shorter. Whatever it is.
Everything can always be shorter.
Was it a lot of long shots of her sitting outside the van with a campfire and shit like that?
Looking at the sky and dude, bitch, I get it. Like you're contemplating the decisions you've made, and it's fucked up, and I'm with you. But let's figure out what we're gonna do. Let's get a plan.
I love it when a plan comes together, Bobby.
yeah. So I'd say it's worth a watch, but I'd watch Tammy Faye first.
Gotcha.
I watched the third part of the Kanye doc. Not feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're saying they couldn't fit all the crazy into one episode.
And they don't. And not only do they not fit all the crazy into one episode, they spend the first 20 minutes on the complicated relationship between the filmmakers and Kanye themselves. They all kind of grew up together, for lack of a better term. After Kanye got super famous, he kind of distanced himself from them. They kind of felt a way about it, but we're still happy for, this whole kind of dynamic happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting part to the story, and I would have liked to have heard, but not when we have to cover all of this other shit in an hour now. It was too much crammed into that third episode. It should have been like a 6-part thing. To be
for once,
fair.
it should be longer.
Yeah. Only because of the way
I feel like they got distracted. Like, this seems like a side story.
Yeah, that the first half hour is a side story, and maybe the second episode is a little drawn out. Like, it could have been, maybe if you put the first half hour into the second episode at the end, and then the third one is just all the crazy.
I think you're missing your calling as an editor.
maybe. So, one thing. So, this is interesting. I like to have a little family story for the week. So rarely do I ever feel like anybody, probably stems from father issues, but particularly my wife is proud of me in any real way, right? But I had a little moment where I kind of felt so. Leia got invited to a birthday party. Pin the tail on a donkey type shit, right? Laura's not going to be here, so I had to drive her. The parents of the kid whose birthday party it is, Laura went through PT school with.
Oh, okay.
And doesn't like. Or not, maybe doesn't. Maybe that's a stretch, but like there was definitely a competitive nature between, and I don't think they were best of friends at any time. I don't think they hated each other, but they definitely weren't each other's cup of tea, and they were competitive. And then Laura was like, so she's talking about it, and like kind of you could tell she got a little chip on her shoulder about it. She was like, "Look, when you go over there, drop her off, you wear some of that designer shit."
Swag it out.
And she was half joking anyway, but it still made me feel good.
Wear your fancy shoes.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing I was going to do real quick before we get into the notes was I was going to challenge you guys.
I was also scared of shit out of you guys this morning.
You scared the shit out of. Oh yeah, you did.
Laura, at least.
Yeah, Laura and I.
Her eyes were like wide open.
It's funny. Laura and I were sitting at the island. She's having coffee. I'm actually drawing. I just got home from work, and we had a guy. This guy Milton, the guy that finished this room and the movie room.
Yeah.
He's gonna come over and do some like minor repairs and shit. That's kind of 12 years we've been here now. And we had a meeting with him, and we were actually sitting there talking about how, because I came down a little bit of a cold over the weekend. Like you still can hear a little bit of it. Yeah. And we were I kicked that thing's ass, by the way, 41 in the house. But we were talking about it because we didn't fuck, because I try to keep my distance a little bit from, and I was like I'm trying to get one in before this dude gets here. And like we were heading that way, and then the door came open and it was you, and I was like, well, this party just ratcheted up a notch, didn't it?
Get in where you fit in, Joe.
I forgot it was 1. I thought it was 9. So and if the garage door is open. I said, the garage door is open. It's time to go.
So when I said good thing we weren't fucking,
I thought you were kidding.
It was a joke to you and her.
But not so much a joke.
So I was going to challenge you guys to list off your 5
top 5?
No, not top 5. The last 5 YouTube videos in your history.
Oh,
okay.
So I'm gonna give you mine, okay? Fabio Farin's Big Drip instrumental.
Yeah, these are going to be very different.
That's number 5.
Very different.
Number 4 is going inside Chernobyl's nuclear plant.
Wow.
Number 3, Siberian cult leader thinks he's Jesus. Number 2, the secret hotel sex parties of the mega rich. And number 1...
that's a Vice video.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've never watched it.
And number 1 is King Crooked and Joel Ortiz foreclosure episode part 4.
All right, here's mine.
Yeah.
The last one, this was from earlier today. Even more unlisted secret changes in Cyberpunk patch 1.5. And I just listened to it while I was walking around. Big E in-ring career over. Scott Hall passes away. WWE Raw review from Wrestle Talk. I watch them every morning. I look forward to their 8 a.m. drops. A very nice, very evil AEW Dynamite pre-show from Bridgeport, Connecticut with Dasha and Danhausen. Let's see here. The major players in GCW, which is these guys who collect action figures that are professional wrestlers. Very intriguing story, but we won't get into that. And then a toy hunt vlog where they were actually at Third Eye Comics. When the wrestlers were in DC, they went to Third Eye.
Gotcha.
And that's a big thing right now is they'll do these toy hunt vlogs. And
right.
And then I did watch an interesting one. The next one is I bought a historic cruise ship on Craigslist. This guy bought like this cruise ship from the 1950s and is trying to restore it.
That's how Haunted.
It was actually the first
story starts.
It was the first. It was the first boat that Germany was allowed to build after World War II that he has in his Louisiana swamp or whatever now. Then you just put it.
Joe?
I'm scared. I'm so scared.
These are all just creepypastas, bro.
Oh, okay.
I work as a security guard. These are the rules to defend the Tartarus Mall.
All right.
The monster in my dead father's basement is getting bigger.
Okay.
Every 20 years, an alarm goes off in my town. My life as a voodoo puppet in a half-price voodoo shop. Which is that's a part 2 of the story. The first part is I work at a half-price voodoo shop. And the second part is my life as a voodoo doll. Okay.
Wow.
And then lastly is there's a body in my living room and no one else can see it.
Wow. So that was recent.
That's a really good. See, I watch a lot of these. I only mentioned the really good ones.
All those for me are from the last 24 hours.
So these are from the last 24 hours.
I grind out YouTube. I'm on YouTube. That's probably the platform I use the most.
So I was at work yesterday and
I need some Fabio Foreign in my
well, so
I'll give you some good stories to listen to, bro.
Cell phones have been a tremendous tool for the mopping gig. I get it, but it has also destroyed the mopping culture.
Right.
I think
it's everything.
A lot of people think a lot of hangout culture. I think.
Yeah, it's destroyed it. So like, whenever I find myself in a room with my coworkers and they're fucking all looking at their phone, sometimes me too. And nobody's talking, I try to come up with these like conversations to like. So I happen to be in my YouTube app when I open my phone. Then I was like, all right, let's play a game and bring just like, you could tell some people didn't want to stay. You know what I mean? Like,
well, at least YouTube is safe. It's not just like the last 5 website in your browsing history. That's different.
Well, here's one, and did I talk about the Jeopardy question on here? I don't know if I did or not. All right, you're on Jeopardy. You guys all know the format of Jeopardy.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
What is your little comic anecdote interesting fact about yourself the first day you're on Jeopardy? They're like, Joe KW from Frederick, Maryland. It says here you're blank and you've done blank. That's
black belt in Taekwondo and kicked a girl and knocked her out.
There you go. And then at the end you say shout out to what her name is.
Darlene.
All right. Let's say you've been on Jeopardy for 37 days.
Oh God!
What's your story? And that's when people are on there for a long time. I'm like,
that one guy that won forever. Didn't he win millions of dollars?
Yeah.
I mean, there's 2 things. Either they must be really interesting people would have gotten through 37 episodes, right?
Or they're creative as hell,
or they're bored. They have not. Like, I imagine some of these guys got to be real boring people with nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Like, they have no interesting facts because they just fucking read.
Right.
Well, I was at the library one time and I tripped.
Somebody was really loud in there. I was like, shh. Yeah. All right, so we do actually have a fair amount of notes to go through. Rest in peace. That's the first note. Rest in peace to Scott Hall and also to William Hurt.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeez.
So two pretty significant losses in their fields. The Boys season 3 trailer. Did you see it?
I didn't watch it, but I'm going to watch the show.
Dude, it looks like everything I want it to be. The one thing that really stuck out to me was all these superheroes like endorsed and shit, and it's all like, what if superheroes were real, and it would all be fucking full of fucking corruption and everything else.
Yeah. For sure.
So like, there's like these protests out on the street, right? Right side is all police, left side all angry younger people, and what's his name?
Peacemaker?
No, the runner.
Yes. I can't
remember his name. He's the Flash of the
A-Train.
A-Train,
which is a horrible name.
He's a black dude, right? Police protesters. He runs up between them and like stops the two lead people, like almost like Michael Jackson Beat It style. Like puts their hand on both their chests.
Wow, that reference.
Does he tie their hands together and give them a knife?
Well, yeah, almost. But then you think he's going to like say something, but instead he like pulls out a soda and like pops the top. Like you could tell it's like going to be a commercial for something.
Oh, so that's a play. There was a Kindle. I think one of the Kardashian Jenner girls.
Oh yeah,
basically did
that's
that.
Right.
So that's pretty clever.
Right. So there's a bunch of that shit in there. It's fucking. It looks like it just. There's not one single word of dialogue in the whole trailer. It's just music. It's like a music video more so than a trailer. But it looks like everything you want it to be.
I'm looking forward to that.
Then there was the Star Trek 2022 trailer.
I saw that.
What did you think?
I don't know.
Is this tied to the other ones?
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm so out of the loop on Star Trek. I can't
tell
even
with the
speak
Star
to
Trek
it.
universe either. I used to be a lot more into it, and now I'm mostly falling off. I'm interested in more movies and the J.J. Abrams, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm more interested in more movies of that, but other than that, I'm out.
I tried.
I'm not watching any more shows.
I think same.
Yeah, I watched
I enjoyed it while it lasted.
Yeah.
I watched like 3/4 of the first season of Picard, and it just like I just couldn't. I mean, it was an interesting story, but it just, I'm gonna be honest, it kind of got in the weeds on the lore. Mm-hmm. You know, the lore.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
like Fast and Furious.
Star Trek is
lore.
like that though. Star Trek gets into itself a lot.
Yeah, and it has a lot of lore to pull from. You know.
Yeah. So
like I like Next Generation. I like the whole '90s like Star Trek. I watched all the shows, so Deep Space Nine, Next Generation, and like by the time Voyager came about, I was getting out of it.
yeah.
The thing that was kind of cool to see was like people that were like living remotely on Earth, like in the snow and shit. And then all of a sudden, like a spaceship like just comes on in, like it's like a fucking Civic. You know? But other than that, like I don't know, I just nothing about it, and I think it's just a teaser to be fair, but nothing about it suggested anything about it.
Yeah, right.
Other
It's
than
just
that,
like
it was a Star Trek. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wish them well. I want them to do more. Like, I think that's a great world,
Right.
A great franchise, but I've lost interest.
Bobby, to your point, I almost think they've muddled it for the casual fan because, like you said, I don't know if it doesn't.
Right.
It's there's so
and
much.
I'm definitely that.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched Next Generation, in my youth, and I don't know that I've ever really watched anything else. I mean, I saw the
I watched
original
movies,
here and there.
The Next Generation
yeah,
movies.
I've seen the movies.
I like the Next Generation movies. The old movies, not as much.
I like the one with the whales.
Whale, right?
That one's great. People hate it. It's fucking awesome.
Joe, it's a whale of a good time.
It's like jumping the whale instead of jumping the shark. Bro.
Exactly.
Dude, it's just super fun, man.
What was it? Is it free?
Fucking Bobby likes Star Trek. It's when there's a fucking space whale.
You don't like fun entertainment, Joe.
You don't like Star Wars, the actual space whales.
Dude, what if they're the same whales?
What if they were?
When worlds collide and when Disney buys Paramount, it's all over.
It's all over. But I won't need to buy Peacock, so that'll be nice. Moon Knight teasers and behind the scenes stuff. You seen any of that?
I didn't. I mean, I'm going to watch it, so...
It looks pretty cool.
I heard it's super dark from what
it looks. I'm always hesitant with that because like the trailers will spin it away and then I'll see it and I'll be like, this bubblegum ass shit. But like the
blowing bubbles and talking shit.
blowing bubbles and talking shit. But
What if it was pretty dark?
They showed his mask come on.
Okay,
which was cool. It's almost like the bandages like come out of his cat, like his cowl.
So they're really grabbing onto
and
the
like
whole...
wrap around his head and then the hood comes up over top of it like automatically. Like it was a
cool
good
they're
look.
doing.
And his eyes do like light up white, which is like something that I like that Batman did. Like they had like the light up eyes
in
like,
the suit,
the suit, you know. Because I wish they would do that more. Bale's Batman does it in Batman Begins when he throws the bomb that blows up
the night goggles or whatever.
Well, not even those, but yes, those two. They're a little too big. But yeah.
They're a little bit goofy.
But like in Batman Begins, when I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you, and then he blows the train, he flies out the back of it. Right when he blows it to like protect his eyes from the shrapnel, like these white lenses go across his eyes.
I don't know if I ever noticed
and then
that.
he like flies out the back. And like
I love that.
it's fucking awesome.
I'm out.
Yeah, like but I wish they would do that more with Batman's eyes, like the comic book white eyes.
I think it's more cartoonish, especially when they're trying to make more grounded Batmans. Like it makes more sense in like fucking George Clooney Batman. Not so much as nowadays the dark, gritty Batman.
So like I agree.
Especially they light up. It's not very stealthy when you light up.
So
eyes.
that's different. But like this Batman puts lenses in his eyes to video all of the stuff to document it. If they were just white, or something like it would just to give me that look. I like that look. I like a white-eyed Batman.
I think we're raised on it. All the superheroes had white eyes.
Yeah, I know, and I am partial to it. Same with Wolverine.
Yeah, they all have.
Dude, it's so true.
Some fucking lazy animators.
Anyway,
Deadpool has white eye.
So speaking of more mature content on Deadpool looked great
and the moves.
Yeah, and it looked great. Like the speaking of more mature content on Disney Plus, parents have loaded their arsenal, Joe. They are upset. This parents group, they're upset with the more mature content on Disney Plus, ruining the family-friendly nature of it.
Don't they
are
have
your kids really scrolling
are
through
they
the Marvel
filtered out?
tab anyways?
I mean, are they not
Moana
section
again.
of?
My kids aren't even really like they're like, I don't know. They're not watching a whole bunch of Disney, but they did get excited for the pandas.
Panda. Dude, I kept saying in that movie, I'm like, and then when she transforms, so to speak, it's panda. I got bros in Atlanta.
I love the Timmy Turner, the remix one. Even looking for a burner to kill everybody walking. Like, it's just haunting.
Lunatic.
Yeah, he is lunatic. But anyway,
Is Disney Plus not like
so why didn't they
organized into like age groups?
So the Netflix stuff,
TVMA.
The Netflix stuff's going to Disney Plus, which
Correct.
I think they should have just put it on Hulu to avoid this.
Yeah,
but it's better. No,
but it is nice to have it all
I
together.
want a unified, like everything in this universe should be on one fucking platform.
So the companies,
I don't like when franchises are like that. Like talking about James Bond earlier. Not all the movies are available on the same
sell the
platform.
rights individually. Probably
You have to fucking hunt them down to watch. Yeah, so
shout out to Roger Moore.
Tim Winter, the president of the PTC, which we all know, Joe, is the illustrious Parents Television Media Council. I am the council.
It's about right.
The company's platform, Disney Plus, logically marketed itself as a family-friendly streaming service, and parents have placed their trust in Disney to deliver just that. It seems wildly off-brand for Disney Plus to add TVMA and R-rated programming to this platform, ostensibly to increase subscription revenue. So, let me say this. I don't think that's Disney's intention here, is to increase revenue by putting the Netflix shows on there. I don't think that's a big marketing ploy. I think they just want all of it in one place.
I think so. I don't think people are signing up just for that shit.
We all know that Disney wants $1, and I'll be the first one to point my finger in their direction and say, this is for that.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is for that.
This is for that either.
Right.
He also added, so what comes next? Adding live striptease performances in Fantasyland at Disney World. Let me tell you something.
Hope so.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Wow. Shut up. You're a fucking idiot. Like, why does it have to be? Why do you have to go? There's a difference between Daredevil adding a little bit more brutality in his ass kicking than Captain America adds in his ass kicking. Right? It's the same beat.
Well, in Mandalorian season 1, they kill the little Arnott guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty. It
is.
They don't show it, but it's pretty fucking brutal.
I mean, the end of fucking Revenge of the Sith. They kill there's
a man on fire, for Christ's sake, Bobby.
Well, multiple people get their heads cut off in Star Wars.
That and
arms,
but they also allude to dismantling a room full of children. You know,
yeah, they definitely. Yes,
I
saw him
the
killing
sand
younglings.
people. He hated them, Bobby.
Yeah, the native Tatooiners.
Not only the men,
but the women
and the children.
And the children too. They're animals, and I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them. And then he throws it and sits down and has a cry. See, a little bit of me, a little bit of you, Joe. But anyway,
and also always extrapolating into absurd.
Yeah,
not gonna
exactly.
Have fucking striptease on there.
Nobody's gonna do stripteases at fucking Disney World, bro. Like it's like you become a silly person.
Yes.
When you make a point like that, you lose any credibility that you had with me, the point that you were trying to make, and now you just become fucking silly.
Yep.
Bibbity boppity boo.
Yeah. All right. Let me calm down.
I hate censorship. Anyway, just fucking partition it off on the web on the app.
The Black Panther director. Have you heard about this?
Yep, I saw the video.
Yeah. So have you heard about this, Joe? So the director of Black Panther, what's his name? Ryan Coogler. He goes into a bank.
He's an African American man. We probably should say that up front.
Yes. Now, just because once again, because the world's so fucking silly, the police are also African Americans. I think the bank teller is African American. It's not the most diverse group of cast of characters in here. If it was the opposite, it'd be a hashtag Twitter in no time whatsoever, right?
Right.
And that only matters because race and police and all of it is so fucking charged. Which I think to like as an outsider observer, and I'm just going off the information I have, fucking 6 months they'll say something else, but like he wrote on a piece of paper or something like, look, I want $12,000 out of my account. Please do not count it in front of the window. Please take it into another room. Like discretion is important. It's a because you don't fucking know. Like $12,000 on your person. Like people can turn up in a fucking second.
Yes.
Yeah. He also gave his ID. See, at that point for me, so anyway, she, I guess, felt like he was trying to rob the place.
Yes.
Got the bank teller, the fucking police come, like they arrest him, all this, like no charges were filed, obviously.
But it's still kind of
it's weird.
Depends on what the note says. If it says take money out of my account, that's like, why would you take that in any other way?
The moment you give your ID, it's over. In my opinion.
Well, so
was he masked up because of COVID?
No, he wasn't masked up, and
the teller's an idiot.
He had a reason for it. He had to pay somebody, but he had to pay him in cash.
It doesn't matter.
No, I know.
It's his money.
But it was just, it was like, why are you explaining to these people? And it was something. Forgive me for probably getting this wrong. It's something like you had to pay a massage therapist or something like in cash.
Yeah,
or it was something. It may say in the article.
Let me see if I can.
But regardless, the teller's an idiot.
Yeah, agreed. As reported by TMZ, Kugler was briefly placed in handcuffs in January of this year when a Bank of America teller thought the director to be a criminal based on his appearance and his submission of a handwritten note. The employee stated that the acclaimed filmmaker had entered the bank dressed in a thick sweater, like how all criminals come in.
A hoodie.
And it's wintertime. Last time I checked,
large sunglasses and a protective face mask.
Okay,
which is what everyone else is probably fucking wearing right now, is a jacket and a fucking face mask.
Correct. Kugler reportedly slipped a note to the teller which read, "I would like to withdraw $12,000 cash from my checking account. Please do the money count somewhere else. I'd like to be discreet." Police officers were then called to the scene and proceeded to detain Kugler and two associates waiting outside in an SUV.
What is not clear about that note? My checking account.
Well, here's the thing. That girl might have gotten robbed the day before. We don't know.
Yeah.
But she might have just been shook, or there had been.
You got to drive out to this.
But it's like, who robs a bank of their account with that person's ID? Like, it just seems like poor.
It's just an overreaction
poor judgment
by one person.
Poor judgment.
Very poor judgment by the
poor
person.
judgment.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. DC Comics. Historically, people have thought meant Detective Comics. It does not. It means direct changes.
Okay.
So I used to think it was District of Columbia Comics.
Nice.
When I was a little foreign lad.
So actually, I think I did too. So the release date schedule has now changed again.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
They still release comics?
No, we're talking about
they're
movies.
Movies, okay.
They're moving Flash and Aquaman 2 back a year. While bumping
2086
and bumping up the release of Shazam. So no, they were supposed to come this year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now Shazam and Black Adam, I guess, will be this year, which I guess makes more sense. But I'm bummed about the Flash. Have you seen this fucking story art? Alleged. What do they call it when you do storyboards for it?
I have not.
It's basically a scene out of Flashpoint.
Okay.
Where Flash goes back to Ben Affleck with a note from Thomas Wayne saying, "I love you and I'm proud of you."
Holy shit. Wow. And Michael Keaton's in it too.
And Michael Keaton.
That's going to be fucking crazy, man.
I also heard a rumor that there will be no Henry Cavill in Flash, but Ben Affleck is in it, and that Ben Affleck would, while this is his last thing, the door is definitely left open for him to return. It's not like that's the end of that.
Gotcha. I like that They don't let them use guns in the movies anymore.
Or on the toys.
Well, that's the thing. Like if
Dude, it's so wild. Those toys you've been posting with no guns.
Yeah, so we looked at those last on Into the Realm this week, and look, if you don't want that out there, then don't put the media out. If you don't put out the comic books, don't put out the movies,
right?
And I'm shooting myself in the foot saying this, but if you don't want a representation of these characters to be shown, the one that kills me is Hot Toys. No 8-year-old, well, most 8-year-olds aren't getting Hot Toys for Christmas, right? Why can you not? And look, Mezco's found a workaround. They have Gotham by Gaslight came out. They did the pre-order, and they had a Victorian vigilante weapons pack that you had to buy separately.
It's just fucking
to work around.
Stupid. Like whoever's making these decisions are a fucking bunch of idiots. They're the same people who's complaining about strippers at fucking.
It's probably that same motherfucker. Let's go get him.
Tom Winters.
Let's put him on blast.
Like, dude, the finger guns killed me, man.
That's awful. Or that one I sent you.
I yelled, "What the fuck!" out loud.
Grifter. Where
I went off on that.
Don't you remember Grifter, the masked loner badass who wore a trench coat and carried around a machete?
Dual machetes,
bro.
So yeah, the Obi Wan Kenobi trailer. Did you see that?
Yes, of course.
So this is the best looking thing I've seen from Star Wars in quite some time.
Well, I think the reason you think that is it has no Filoni or
so does it not?
No.
Okay.
It's the I can't think. It's the Asian woman who did some of the Mandalorian season 1 stuff.
Okay.
They did that. What do they call it? The after show or whatever.
Yeah. Everybody got a show or whatever.
Is her name Deborah Chow?
I think she was a key grip on something, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. She wasn't a gaffer though. She was a gaffer.
Yeah.
So she's directing. I think the whole thing.
Okay. I'll tell you, so there's a couple scenes that look a little TV-ish to me, and it's just a trailer, so it's hard to say. But there is one thing that I find,
Deborah Chow. That's right.
And
and I said all that about Asian people and never looked at Joe.
And this is not me. This is not me trying to inject an identity politics thing into this. It doesn't. The race and sex of this person doesn't matter to me.
Right.
Yep.
We get a look at a new Inquisitor.
Okay.
All right. So I want to go through the history of Star Wars with you briefly.
You have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are exposed to our first Sith Lord. Mm-hmm. He wears an all-black suit with a black helmet and a black cape and fucking lightsaber and kills a bunch of rebels lickety-split.
Yep.
Badassery. And then we get our second Sith Lord. He's an old, twisted man, and his face has been scarred and deformed, who throws lightning bolts from his fingers. And then the next Sith Lord that we really properly get is the guy that basically looks like Satan with tattoos,
yes,
who has a double-bladed lightsaber. Mm-hmm. Then we get an old white guy. And nobody's really happy about it. But people are kind of like, it's fucking Dracula, so I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the Emperor's an old white guy, too.
Right. And then we get the return of Vader. Right. Then, we get a couple little odds and ends along the way. We get Dathomir witches. We get this bald, tattooed chick who looks alien-esque and carries around 2 lights. Right. Then we get this really deformed old guy. Looks like he smoked too many cigarettes and he had to have some sort of throat surgery, but he's still kind of twisted and interesting. And then, we get Vader's kid who's something. A lot of little interesting Sith Lords. And then we get Inquisitors, and they're a species that we recognize from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, where they lived in an Utapau and they were kind of had ribbed faces and fangy teeth and battle droids, hundreds of them.
But not all the Inquisitors are that.
No, but the one main one was. And then we get more Inquisitors that are all interesting looking and dynamic looking, and then we get the video game and it has big monstrous ones and everything else. And then we just get this chick in Obi-Wan. Just
a chick.
Just a chick. Just a chick wearing an outfit with a lightsaber.
It might have been the first time to a plain ass Sith Lord.
Yeah,
and
she's just an Inquisitor. She's not a
whatever.
But yes, right.
Just dark side. Dark side users are especially flashy. Jedi's all look the same with the fucking grandpa robes. Right. Whatever.
Right.
I get it. Every fucking Darksider has been unique and interesting.
I agree.
Regardless of property. The anime ones.
I agree.
Very different. The
I agree.
video games, the comics,
I agree.
Clone Wars, they're all unique.
I agree.
Revan, fucking Nihilus, they
Yes.
all
Talk to me.
striking.
Yes, and not this one. She just
I think it's probably horrible foreshadowing that she ends up turning on them just based on her appearance.
it would make sense.
her lack of appearance, unless
Like, yeah,
I mean, I don't know the story.
Normal ass guy,
unless she was a recently.
and he's the least interesting one too.
but and he's like still had like some cool regal outfits with his curved saber, so to speak.
Banana. Well, maybe she's just maybe she was a surviving Jedi that turned.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the
Maybe I don't know. I just think it's a boring.
It is a little off-putting. I mean,
then
out of place. Rather,
the one
off-putting.
Inquisitor that they have in there, he looks like a guy egghead, a little Humpty Dumpty face.
That was, yeah. Should have gotten Dan Aykroyd to play.
But
They're from
Conehead.
France.
it seems a little bit more serious. It seems a little bit more like it's taking it serious.
Right.
That so I'm optimistic about something Star Wars.
Good. I'm looking forward to it.
And then our last note is supposedly there have been rewrites with it though, where they wrote out Darth Maul and a
I don't
larger.
think that's bad. I think that's a good choice, actually.
a larger aspect of Luke Skywalker was supposedly in it.
So we've seen. I mean, I'm happy with Darth Maul's role in the Clone Wars. They ended that with Rebels.
It's completely explored where he was.
I agree.
Where
There's nothing left.
I mean, the only thing is when he was with Crimson Dawn.
Yeah,
that piece of it.
stuff that has nothing to do with
But I mean, with
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, like
Yeah.
we saw how like he met Obi-Wan again. Like unless they redo that scene, which would be amazing. I would watch that.
Yeah.
I would love
Yeah.
for them to just recreate that scene for live action.
Yeah,
But they don't need to add retcon any additional shit in it.
right.
Agree. All right, so then we're on to questions.
But yeah, if they got Ray Park and fucking what's his face?
Hayden Christensen.
So Ray Park shot scenes for it.
Yeah, with Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
For them to do that
Dude,
scene
what
with-
about seeing Vader and Maul together?
that'd be wild.
That would have been something. So, speaking of Billings, he said, "Lucky fools. Hey, gents, it amazes me how different the East Coast seems. By listening to you guys each week, I think there's one museum within 200 miles of me. Nobody goes into gas stations or convenience stores here. In fact, they're closing at an alarming rate and just leaving the gas pump portion. The few that have tried dropping the gas portion and being standalone convenience stores have all closed here. The only time I've ever gone into one myself is to grab beer or ice on the way to a gathering. We don't have preferences or feuds about which is better either. Do
You
not
guys
have
are boring. That's why.
do not have Sheets or Wawa here at all.
Exactly.
So I did want to say that, like, when I went to San Diego, it's the only time I've been on the West Coast. I was like alarmed myself, sir, about how I couldn't just get a snack.
Yep.
Really?
Like, there wasn't any like
There's
convenience
no
stores, like grab a
bodegas?
soda or whatever. Like, it was just like vitamin shop, yoga studio, like
Froyo? How about Froyo?
other fucking California bullshit.
Like raisins?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I've never. Where's Billings at? Is he in
he's on the West Coast. He's not in California.
The Pacific Northwest, right?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
it's because the sun never comes out. Everybody's sad.
That's true too. Stores and restaurants. Every episode I'm hearing of about retail stores or restaurants or brands that we don't have here. Five Below, Ollie's, Dunkin' Donuts, Chick-fil-A, White Castle, Cracker Barrel.
What do you people do and eat?
Nothing. They're fucking boring.
That's
over
why
there.
they're sad.
Wow. We got Target, Walmart, McDonald's, and Taco Bell. That's about it.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? You've probably got stuff we've never heard of.
That we don't care about because
I mean,
they're not good.
There's stuff
We
all
haven't
over
heard
the
about them.
country. Like,
We
listen,
haven't heard about them.
there's a gas station chain in Arkansas called Come and Go, and it's spelled C-U-M. Yeah, that one's not mine, but I'll take it. I'll tell you.
In conventions, you guys are so spoiled. It seems like you have one available to you every weekend.
Almost.
My city has one nerd type convention once a year, and it's trash. If I travel 4 hours, I could go to Seattle and go to Emerald City Comic Con, which is once a year, or PAX, which is once a year. Not even close to a con every weekend.
PAX East is better.
Well, listen, I want to make sure Billings knows I drive 4 hours most of the time to go to these conventions. They're not happening here.
Yeah, but you don't have to. There's enough
I don't
cons
know.
here.
Yeah.
In the area, there
are cons.
There are, and I've been to some here,
Nova,
but the ones that I talk about, it's normally like 3 or 4 hours to get to ZoloCon or
But this area
ToyCon or
is
whatever.
also, what is this called? Like the Industrial Revolution shit? Like this, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's
There's
where all
still, the wagons aren't all out there yet from the 1860s.
it's like where all the fucking cities were built. You know what I mean? It's like, it was like
the Industrial Revolution started here.
the Industrial Revolution was the word I was looking for. Did I say that? Or did I say Industrial Revolution? Or did I say industrial? What did I say?
I don't think you said anything.
I think I caught another stray.
Dude, it's flying everywhere today.
But yeah, I mean, it's a super developed area of the country, like and probably not as dense anywhere else in the country. So
except for LA.
You know what's crazy that a lot of this shit. I have that in Alabama. I mean, we didn't have Wawa and Sheetz, but we had like Raceway and no, I lost the name of it.
Circle K.
I like how you
Circle K.
I like how you said it like it's such a comment. Raceway.
Oh, what about the Wavaho station? That was a thing.
I bet. He said, "What do we have here? Wineries, tons and tons of wineries."
So do we.
And I'm not complaining, but we do have a lot of wineries.
We have
like if I take
Sugarloaf is right around the corner where they make the fucking wine.
If I take the back way home from here, I think I passed 4.
Yeah, well, vineyards,
crazy.
You hear about Napa Valley in California for being famous for wine, but really here in southeastern Washington, so he does shout at his spot, it is wine country. Our climate and seasons are perfect for growing the grapes needed for a wide variety of delicious wines. I could go to a different winery every weekend and not get through them in a year's time, and that's within 25-mile radius.
Wow.
So that is pretty stacked.
Yeah.
So I guess to add a question to it, what things do you hear about from other parts of the country that you don't have easy access to? Could be retail stores, restaurants, monuments, events, sites, weather experiences, or wherever you could come up with. So, love, peace, titty, grease, Billings. We love you, Billings.
In-N-Out Burger. That's number one for me.
Dude, Jack in the Box, is another thing I hear about that. I'm like, what the fuck?
Zaxby's is down south, isn't up here.
I want White Castle, but that's
White
Jersey.
Castle.
That's the East Coast, though. That's Jersey. We could.
Yeah, you could go. There's another chain called Crystal, which is similar to White Castle. That's just
fucking Bluebell ice cream.
Yeah,
which is my favorite ice cream on the planet, and you can't get it unless
Giffords is really good.
Unless you're in the South, huh?
Giffords is really good, and that's local.
Who? Ice cream?
Yeah, Giffords.
I don't think I've had it.
I'll bring it over sometime.
Okay.
My parents carry
it. Big like national parks, like when I see like I hear sometimes like
we have Rock Creek,
yeah, like Old Faithful, like or
like the thing that's gonna kill everybody,
or like when I see sometimes like I maybe I'm nuts, maybe it's just my media mind that's been playing tricks on me, but like I feel like sometimes they show like the Midwest area and it's just like grazing herds of animals like roaming the plains. Yeah. Like I'm like, damn man, I wonder what that shit feels like. Just see some shit like that, like yo, there's a bison. That's a whole like big ass bison.
Yeah, I went out to Yellowstone a couple years ago. It's crazy how it's literally just animals roaming around.
Right.
Just crazy. Like how the Earth is supposed to be. I think.
Yeah. Desert. Like I'm always like,
talking about conveniences and good things we want.
Yeah, but I
it's called dessert, Bobby.
We have all these other things. It's because we don't have deserts and plains.
Yeah, that's right. But I guess if I could trade in the heroin for just try the desert every once in a while.
That's fair.
Canyons and shit like
the Grand Canyon.
And like one thing that like I'm not interested in for me personally, but I do think would be nicer. And once in a while, like I see like a place like Phoenix and it's like 1,000 degrees, which I don't want any part of. But the idea of like just walking, like you're in one store and you walk across the street to the other store, and as you walk across the street, you just pass like a couple lizards. They're also in the street.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. I think wildlife is what I'm missing. I'm missing the bison. I'm missing the lizards.
You need more outdoor time. You need to go back to a
City Mouse, Country Mouse.
Not Great Falls. Where the fuck you did go with to it? Yeah, Deep Creek. That's what it is.
Man.
You need to go back there, bro.
I do.
Fucking red pandas and shit.
So Ryan C. He says, "Welcome to the Sausage Party."
Ooh.
If I could cosplay as anyone, I'd like Chris to pick a Tim Curry character, but I'd go as the Darkness from Legend. He said, getting ready for a road trip next week. As you read this, down to Chicago. As far as road trip snacks, cherry Pepsi. Never drink soda pop.
Pepsi tastes like it's got bugs in it.
Yeah. Reese's big cups, preferably regular, not any of that potato chip pretzel chunk shit.
Oh no, it's good shit.
And in my hometown and further north in western Michigan, there's a gas station bakery that makes the best frosted cinnamon rolls I've ever had.
That sounds great.
That normally where I stop on my way out of town anytime I'm leaving.
Nice.
And on the road trip subject, anywhere you guys suggest in Chicago to check out. I'll be staying in Schaumburg, but my buddy and I are planning on going downtown once or twice across the course of the week. Anywhere you guys think we should check out. So like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll tell you, there's a hotel you shouldn't go to. I've never, the times I've been to Chicago, it's literally been for one of those conventions that's so far away from anything else. It's not worthwhile.
Just
to
get
go.
that fucking pizza though. That's all I care.
Yeah,
That pizza's fucking
and I like, so we like it, like Giordano's or whatever it is. But like, I also feel like when you say that to people from Chicago, they're like, "Oh, of course you do. You fucking out of towner. You don't know about fucking Sal's on 138th." Like, no, motherfucker, because I'm here for 2 days.
Yeah.
But we like that. I think that the center of the loop, there's like it's not like a park and a real estate, like, but there's like people hanging out there. There's like birds and shit. Like it was a weird.
You talk about animals a lot, dude. You really need the nature in your life, bro.
So there's like the reason why I say that is because like Chicago's like a huge metropolis, right? But it gave me this like small town feel where like there was like people that were like delivering newspapers. They'd be like, Jim would be out there reading his newspaper, and like somebody would throw a stack of newspapers out and be like, "Hey Jim, how's the wife and kids?" Be like, pain in my ass, and whatever the case may be.
I think it depends on which part of the Chicago you're in.
But that was like inside the loop. It's like the downtown, super downtown part.
Like in some places, you just don't want to be outside. I think.
Well, that's specific. Don't go to O Block. Do not go to O Block.
Bobby could probably tell you better where not to go
Yeah,
based on his trap music or his drill music style. It's not trap music.
Listen to Little Durk, Ruga, King Von, and 600 Breezy, Boss Top, and then they should name enough neighborhoods that you should just avoid.
All of them.
And it's not that big an area where all this fucking shit is going down, which is interesting also. But like, I don't know if you're into museums and shit, there's like a kick-ass fucking dinosaur museum there. There's also like
there he goes again.
There's a Michael Jordan statue.
That guy's gonna get worse. There's an aquarium there. It's pretty nice. Some sharks and shit. But like,
we need to take a trip to Baltimore to go to the aquarium someday.
But yeah, that's about all I got. I'm not sure if we did that much sightseeing. Most of the time we were there for the shows, but like I do like that little downtown spot. Like there's the Sears Tower. You can go up and like you can go out, and there's like a glass floor and like look straight down at this. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's super touristy, but it's pretty cool. And he said, "Good to hear you guys every week. I got to get back to the Patreon." Yeah, dude. What are you doing out there with the peasants? Strays. More strays. By the power of Zordon, we are the spell table. So Shane G, he said, "A few good gentlemen. Good morning, gentlemen, rather. So I have a few things on deck for you guys today. First and foremost, I've been listening to you guys for several years now, and I have to say that this was my favorite episode you guys have done.
The last one?
The last one. The conversations were fantastic, and the thoughts expressed got me thinking about some stuff.
I can't remember what the fuck did we talk about that was that special?
We talked about Batman
entertainment, minutes.
How Bobby's jealous of me.
Strays.
He said, Bobby, hearing you talk about how you needed something a bit more from the Batman got me thinking about a book I read a while back. It's called Batman and Psychology, A Dark and Stormy Night. It's written by a psychology professor named Travis Langley. It explores the psychological reasons why people gravitate towards Batman as a character, breaks down how each member of the Rogues Gallery is actually an over-enhanced version of Batman's own fractured mind based on the I believe in all that shit. It's absolutely fascinating, and I'd be willing to lend you my copy if you'd like to check it out. No timeline on completion, though. I know you've got a few Coruscant Night books to work through.
Strays.
More strays, dude.
Just fucking shots fired everywhere.
But if interested, shoot me a message. I see what you did there. Next, I hear you guys talking about Old Bay a lot. He spelled it wrong.
That's what you don't have on the West Coast either. Right?
But, that's true. But I want to send you guys some seasonings from down here in the South that we use. It's a seasoning blend called Tony Chachere's.
Can I see how it's spelled?
Chachere's?
What if I told you, Shane, that's in my spice closet right now?
Oh, no shit.
Well, it's my wife's spice closet. Yeah.
Nice.
It's good shit, though.
For all the Southern listeners on here, if you know, you know. Mm-hmm. Lastly, Chris, Revolution was a great show. That dog collar match was absolutely fantastic. I'm truly curious to see how AEW manages ROH. It's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan for sure.
It definitely is. Revolution was great. I don't know if I mentioned this, that AEW bought another wrestling promotion. Ring of Honor is actually based here in Baltimore. I think I mentioned it.
I have a question on that.
Yep.
Do you think it seems like it's good and up and A&W's A&W?
That's the vibe I'm getting.
The root beer company.
The root beer company is getting bigger and bigger, and it's like giving fans what they want. Mm-hmm. But do you being competitive to WWE
E now? Yes.
But do you worry about that or just becoming in the WWE? Because sometimes when you see small guys get bigger and like this, and they start acquiring everything, and then there's like, oh, now you're just another one of those guys.
From a creative, so what it boils down to is the WWE is ran by a 76-year-old man who was completely out of touch with reality. Right.
Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity.
Yep. Where AEW is ran by a guy who's been a lifelong independent wrestling fan, and that's why we're getting what we want.
You don't think it would be like corrupted, or there's no board of directors?
No,
who tell
I mean
him
it's
to go fuck himself.
So I don't know if you guys have ever told you this. The family who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I want to say the Liverpool football / soccer team in England, money, right? Mm-hmm. That's who AEW is.
Oh, okay.
So
established.
They're established in the sports, and I think they're looking at this more. It seems like they're running this more like a sports like a team than a loosely grouped of independent contractors, because WWE calls them independent contractors.
Right.
Which they, you're an independent contractor, but I own your likeness now, right? Yeah. So go figure it out.
But they're not going to be like Walmart or CVS, where they're buying out all the little guys and then basically pushing everyone out of the business.
No, because see, like if you work for AEW and if your agreement's written this way, you can still go every weekend and wrestle for the local promotion in your hometown, or you can go to another indie promotion or they do you can go wrestle on this show or go to Japan.
Well, and
WWE is like you work for WWE.
Less so the individual wrestlers, but the other promotions,
yes.
Like other companies. Like, do they feel pressure? Like mom and pop stores are being pressured out of doing certain things because of big box stores.
I don't think they are. I think it's the opposite. I think they
want to join.
Feeding the excitement of the culture.
They don't want to join, but the independent wrestling scene is where most of these guys came from, and they're seeing there's a I guess a renaissance of popularity. Like that show we went.
So they're bringing everybody else up instead of pushing them down.
Yeah,
nice. That's good to hear. I love to hear.
Like that show we went and saw in New York City at Hammerstein Ballroom. That's a promotion that normally runs like fucking armories and shit. That's why it was such a big deal they were there and could fill it up.
Nice, good to hear.
Yeah, and there's some some major stars from AEW, like John Moxley. He is the GCW champion, and he's also on AEW every week.
Because he's free to do that.
Yeah, they allow him to, I guess you probably have to say, hey, I'm going to go work for so-and-so this weekend. Okay, cool. Or, no, I don't want you working for that guy. He's racist.
Fair.
Which I have stories I could tell about that some other time.
It's fine. Share shots too. Everybody.
So he also said, sorry for the long email and thanks for the show. Nick writes in and says, in search of your baby.
No boy. My baby.
First off, I really hope I wrote the email address right and didn't send some rando an email entitled In Search of Your Baby. Hey guys, Nick from Canada writing in. Long time, listen, blah, blah, blah. First question is for Joe, Bobby, and hopefully Phil if I'm lucky. Unfortunately, luck is not your strong suit. I was wondering if you guys have heard of Creative Beasts figures and your thoughts on them, specifically their new Cyberzoic line. It looks to be a pseudo Dino Riders line. If I recall, you talked about these toys fondly in previous episodes. I've not heard of this. Would you mind looking that up?
So it's Beast of Mesozoic.
Mesozoic, like the era.
And I want to say I saw these. Is this a Kickstarter? It looks like it's a Kickstarter.
Let me see them. He said, also more of a recommendation than a question, but since Chris has a PS5 and Joe is hunting one, I 100% recommend Returnal as a pickup since you guys like Prometheus and Alien Covenant. It's the best movie Ridley Scott ever made, or never made, and I never hear people talking about it. Easily my game of the year for 2021, Returnal.
Returnal, like Eternal with an R.
Yes.
Back to the dinosaur. These things look fucking great. I don't know anything about
dinosaurs
or anything.
I don't collect dinosaurs.
They look like great dinosaurs.
They're cool.
I don't see anything here about
Cyberzoic?
Let me look that up. Cyberzoic.
Maybe that's the sci-fi line of dinosaurs.
Creative Beasts is Cyberzoic suggests some sort of technology.
Well, Dino Riders are like
correct. Brain box wearing motherfucker.
Brain box.
Yeah, dude, give me that brain box. I'll end that order.
So I mean, it's just concept art, but it looks like the Dino Riders.
Looks like 100% like Dino Riders.
It looks better than Dino Riders.
It looks great. I'm in. Nick, I'm in. So we got we got a write-in from Blaster. He says, he says, now for something completely different. No more gigantic essays, no more endless sound effects. That was an era of a less mature past. Now I got nothing else to lose, so why not just go all in? Let's see what he's got here. It's downloading.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Downloading.
Here we go.
It's probably malware.
Well. Bobby Boy and the rest of the Nerd Rage crew.
Ooh. That's a strong.
Live from the power of the internet. It's your sound engineer, but also not really your sound engineer. Got to keep the joke going. Am I right, Bobby? First and foremost, let's get the bad news out of the way. We apparently dropped 33 places, and we're now 120th.
Oh,
in
no.
entertainment news in Australia.
Oh.
Hey, man, we don't put the bad news out there. Are you recording this on a droid? Why is it so low?
Why. Maybe they don't know who the key grip is. Bobby, who's the key grip on the show?
Phil.
I mean, he's everybody's favorite character from The Promised Neverland, so I wouldn't be surprised. By the way, quick shout out to Gene Fodchik, the key grip for the new Batman. First and foremost, though, the third-party panel. While lackluster, X-Transbots, I believe, took the absolute effing win. By the way, quick shout out to Mike, a.k.a. the comic relief crusader of X-Transbots fame. And congratulations to him on his first 100 subs on YouTube. Love you, brother.
What's up, baby? Take me out to dinner.
And after almost half a decade, we finally get to see Fans Toys Blaster in full. So big shout out to him.
Fans Toys
Okay, time for questions.
Yeah.
Question. First and foremost, to Mr. Chris Pinkerton.
Hello.
Let me cue the music.
Oh, boy.
This is probably a stupid question, but a shower thought I wanted to get out of my head nonetheless.
Flex.
You know how X-Transbots Ollie is your mascot?
Yes.
What would you say if a new third-party wheelie came out? Would that replace Ollie, or would Ollie stay just on the basis of sentimental value? If you ask me, food for thought. And finally, to the...
All right.
So, first off, I don't think a third-party company is ever going to make another one. If they do, I mean, Ollie holds a special place and always will.
Yeah, you can't replace
I
him.
don't think he's replaceable.
No, hell no.
Yeah. Sorry.
Let's see.
basis of sentimental value. If you ask me, food for thought.
All right, but
And finally, to the man of the hour, Mr. Skullface himself. I believe I have fielded this question to you previously before, but now that we have the entire crew here, I would like to field it once again. That being, in regards to the third-party panels over the past couple years, since the reveal of Fans Toys Fortress Maximus, which I
forgot about
and possibly others out there consider the peak, the forever peak of TFCon third-party panels. Would you say since then that we have seen a snowballing downtrend in regards to what we've been seeing over and over? This year was definitely no stranger to
I would say it was well before then. Like they started that show.
I was only really excited about Fans Toys
Panel started nosediving fucking eons ago.
At least a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's definitely been different compared to years in the past.
Yeah, no, it's been bad for some time.
And I think the pandemic, the way people have been rolling stuff out, has kind of killed the con reveal for a lot of stuff, not just Transformers.
Yeah.
They've been showing things at waves. The last one is no stranger.
I can just barely hear this.
I know. It's hard to make out, bro.
Yeah.
They weren't at any cons and were just put up randomly. Not to mention Jazz, Hoist.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would say I'm gonna cut that a little bit short. We got to keep those a little tighter too, Blaster. Come on, man, you're catching a stray too today. But I mean, like there was a time. It has nothing to do with that show. In spite of anything with that show, it has nothing to do with that show. It has nothing to do with third party panels. It has to do with third party itself. The third party fucking panels were exciting when third party was exciting.
Yep.
And third party hasn't been exciting probably since 2018. Like 2016 to 2018 was like the golden era, and it's been on a downward trend ever since. For the Masterpiece collector, if you're a Legends collector, it's probably fucking balls to the wall exciting for you.
But also, like I think the third party panels were more exciting before they were super popular. But because once they got super popular, then everything was being put out online. And so by the time the third panel comes along, there's nothing really to see.
Well, and also there was a vibe to it back then when you could put something in the third party panel, and it would just hit the third party fans. Mm-hmm. But now it's like it's a rollout.
Yep.
You know, so like if you put something out there, like it's going to be on every blog, it's going to be on every major Instagram or Facebook page that carries Transformer news, or whatever the case may be. So like you're making a fucking legit announcement now, whereas before it was kind of like just a fan thing.
Yeah.
What I'm actually excited about, and what might be the top of the top best Prime list, would be this 112 Prime Friend is making.
Who is making?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I want to see I want to see it complete.
Wait,
it's gonna scale with your GI Joes, bro.
What are you talking about?
Are you not on Instagram?
there's a
The one Tyler's put in?
Yeah.
I've seen a completed one. They're pretty massive.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
You gonna get one?
No.
All right, so Paul C, he says, someone having trouble with grammar? Now the ball's in Farnsworth's court.
Futurama, bro.
As many of you know, I wield the grammar hammer very proudly, so I'm happy to give you my tip for knowing the difference between affect and effect.
Oh boy.
I will try and spell it out, as these two used to eat me up as well. I'd love to hear it. As Bobby stated, one of them is a verb. So when using affect or effect in a sentence, the quickest check I use is if it's an action, use affect with an A. Both action and effect start with the letter A. For some, affect action will work as a mnemonic device due to the alliteration. The secondary check I use, you could see which one is easier for you to see, is if you could replace the word with impact. If it can be replaced, as in the snowstorm will impact your commute this morning, use the word affect with an A. Other situations will require effect.
Yes.
Dude, Paul. Nice. You're shooting my ignorance.
So like smoke effects with an action figure would be with an E then.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Because smoke impacts.
Right, but those smoke
Lung cancer.
Those smoke effects affected my mood would be A and E, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Like the wrestling.
And now for this week's question. He said the secondary check I used, you can see which one is easier for you to see if you can replace the word with impact. Oh, I said that. Okay. And now for this week's question, we're going to get a bit weird. Let's talk about superhero pubic landscaping. What do you think are their preferred styles? For this question, let's not consider the skin-tight uniforms in any way. If someone goes full bush, it will be affected.
Wolverine's full bush.
See how I brought it full circle by the tights? Pick a couple of superhero teams, men and women, and let us know who rocks a landing strip, who goes full 70s porn star, or who has scorched the earth. Some team suggestions in case you can't think of any: Justice League, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Avengers. All right.
Well, let's pick a team and work on that together.
Okay. So which one do you want to go with?
Let's see what's right in front of me.
Well,
here.
let's pick something with live action counterparts.
Well, let's pick the MCU right behind Bobby here.
Yeah, instead of just comic books.
All right.
We have these live people.
So Hulk is full bush.
Yeah.
I don't know, because he's Banner, right?
Is Bruce full bush?
So
I think Hulk doesn't have any hair down there.
So I think Bruce Banner is well kept, but not a landing strip, not full bush, just well kept.
Manscaped, like 3.0, like the
Groomed.
fucking. We're not sponsored. Why am I saying this?
Yeah.
They sponsor everybody else, though.
Not yet.
What type of mattress do you sleep on, Joe?
But I think
keeps for men.
Hulk doesn't have any body hair, right? I think he has no hair from the neck down.
I think it
just falls off.
I think Wanda's got that. She's got the V cut. You know.
Oh yeah,
like the arrow.
She could also be untamed.
Oh wow, it's wild. Just red pubes all over the bathroom. I think Rhodey is clean.
You don't think like a
waxed,
like a equivalent of a high and tight down there?
Yeah. I think Black Widow has scorched the earth.
Yep.
And I think that's probably for so that there's no issue, like that it's just part of its functionality. It's pragmatic. It's it's just one less thing to get pulled or yanked or you know what I mean, whatever. Just if your suit catches it just wrong, don't have to worry about it.
Steve Rogers is just like perfectly shaped and trimmed.
Yeah, but
just like everything else.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to do anything. It just looks
like that. Yeah, he doesn't have to groom anymore.
We all know that Shang-Chi doesn't grow any body hair.
Yep, nope.
So you don't have to worry about that, right?
I think Thor does. He trims his with his hammer.
Just smash.
No, the lightning.
Yep.
This dude, can you imagine the smell of this charred pubes everywhere?
And Rocket, although hairy, is smooth down there.
and he uses Nair.
Yes.
That'd be crazy.
Uses
Just
Nair.
a bald fucking gooch.
Yep. And Nick Fury wears a patch over one of his testicles.
Groot is also bald, but he's packing the hard wood. If you know what I'm saying,
right.
bloody. Am I right?
Fucking Bucky.
Bucky doesn't know what's going on. Bucky hasn't touched his in
He's also not allowed to have a
40
razor.
years. That's right.
He just uses his robot arm to pull it out.
And Star-Lord probably has some very complicated stencil that he uses because he thinks somebody likes it and nobody cares.
Yeah, and
Doctor Strange.
I think the Wasp has a landing strip.
The Wasp.
I'd believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tony Stark probably has
A goatee.
some mechanical. Yeah, he has a penis goatee.
Ant-Man's is a mess.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's not taken care of. It might as well be full bush, but it connects to the thigh hair. It's all fucked up.
Underbelly hair, just one patch down there.
And I think that'll do it.
Well, Paul, thanks for that.
KFC rant. What's going on, Power Rangers? I have a rant for Mr. Pinkerton. Maybe you want him to read it because it's a wrestling and
You want me to read it so you don't slaughter any important words?
Read it like a promo, bro.
Second paragraph.
All right. So, over on AEW, we have Swerve Strickland debuting, and right away, he is confronted by Tony Nese. Now, they're making reference on how they have history dating back to their 205 Live days because wrestling fans know this. Now, in WWE, Pete Dunne, former UK champion on TV, weekly for NXT, they bring him to the main roster and change his name to fucking Butch. Yep. Pretending that he is this new person, totally like Pete Dunne never existed. This isn't the early 2000s where you had OVW, which was like their territory where they built people up, and when guys got called up, they got repackaged. I get it for making a new character,
Packaging guys, bro.
per se, but you can't ignore the
Repaint.
past. And WWE has always pretended that NXT history with characters just doesn't happen.
That's art you can sell online.
Yep. NXT is their developmental that actually ended up has a TV show now. I just think it's a slap in the face of the actual wrestling fans who watch the product every week. This may have been the straw that broke the camel's back for me with the WWE because I was really a fan of Pete Dunne. So I'll tell you, I was actually watching SmackDown on Friday night, and I see Pete Dunne, and he's running with these other. Pete Dunne is, I believe, he's from the UK. There's a couple guys.
With Soulless then.
Yeah, basically. And he talks. He almost sounds like that actually. There's another, I think, a Scottish guy and an Irish guy, and they put him with those guys to make like this little 3-man crew, which makes sense. But why you got to change his name to Butch?
Yeah.
You've been building this other brand. You've been building this guy. The guy's a fucking monster, anyways.
Right.
He's one. I think Bobby is probably the closest. If you became a pro wrestler, it'd be the closest to way you'd be. Like he manipulates people's fucking things, does all sorts of crazy dirty shit. Like you'd be a good guy in wrestling. Are you serious?
Probably not.
It is very frustrating when they they build this character up on
You psychologically fuck with people and make them fucking worry about some. I'm like, what?
Dude,
What? I'm like, I feel like this isn't about the character anymore, Joe.
yeah. But I agree with you that it's a lot that they take away, this history and just share. Your name's Butch now.
Yeah, that is weird. That does seem weird, branding wise, anyway.
It's a 78-year-old man that's out of touch with reality that's booking these shows.
Nathan P. Howdy from San Antonio, NRR. Hope everyone's doing fine and well. Bit of a long discussion. If y'all are crunched for time, you can skip the long question. With everyone who's been on the pod, it's clear that everybody's in different types of pockets for different types of hobbies. All those hobbies may become the topic of conversation, which is always entertaining, might I add, resulting in me picking up information and opinions I wouldn't normally have come across on my own, specifically anything Star Wars related. After hours and hours of NRR that I've listened to, the opinions discussed about Star Wars has given me the opportunity to bullshit amongst my friends. Like the other day, a buddy of mine was talking about how he loved the Boba Fett show. I was like, I don't know, man. The only 2 good episodes weren't even about Django.
Yep.
I pretty much sprinkled in Bobby's opinion, which sprawls out into a heated discussion of it's not Django, it's Boba. And I'll constantly hear this motherfucker is a closeted Star Wars fan. How does he know this much shit, but doesn't watch or like any of the shows? I don't know. I get a kick out of it. Basically, I say all that to say
Watch it
this.
burn.
When was a highlight of a time when you were able to bullshit in the conversation because of offhanded knowledge you obtained through friends, family, or media? So I'll tackle that. Not that I've bullshitted, but I've held my own in fairly involved conversations about anime based on information that I've heard directly from you. But I've never tried to make it seem like I'm an expert. I always say, look, I got a buddy of mine who's balls deep in it, and this is what I know about it, and and I argue for or against, or debate for or against.
I'll use that same one because my entire family is obsessed with anime except me, to the point where the dudes are putting in the well the other day, and one of them's like, I like your anime statues. So we started talking about anime, and yeah, it was. I had to
the
bullshit
well
him.
guy. It's an anime. Interesting.
Yeah, he was probably like Mason's age. He was the assistant or whatever.
He said, second question, ever been in a time when you've been hit with a massive wave of laziness? I don't know. Lately, I haven't got the need to cook anything. Like, I'll think about it, walk into the kitchen and be like, nah, and go buy takeout. That's all I got for questions. I think that's a more not interesting question, but is a more conversation question. I have noticed like rhythms to my day, that like shit that can fuck up the rhythm to my day, and that will put me on a lazy streak.
Me too. Like if something happened the other day. I was planning on working around something, and then that thing didn't happen, so I could have been working on something that entire fucking morning.
Yeah.
And by lunch, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing anything else. I'm gonna play video games today.
So I will tell you that my life is fairly regimented.
That was Saturday, actually. Yeah, it was Saturday because we didn't end up going to the
Because it's snowing.
Yeah, because I had. That's what it was.
When I get up in the morning, I come downstairs and I allow myself 1 cup of coffee, sit on the couch, catch up on my phone, scroll, do whatever I got to do on my phone until that cup of coffee is finished, and then my phone is over. And I'll keep it by me, and I'll check notifications like this and look at it and see if I got to reply to something right away. But if I get locked, if I get distracted by this motherfucker, I won't get shit done.
Black Mirror.
So like I'll allow myself that 1 cup of coffee, and then I'm pretty much locked into work until lunch. At lunch, I eat at exactly noon every day. I'm usually done eating by 12:05. Wow. Maybe 12:08. I don't have a big lunch, so it's part of it. I allow myself from whatever time I finish lunch to 12:15 to continue on my phone. Then 12:15, it's lights out until I get the things done that I wanted to get done, A, or I got to cook the kids dinner, B.
No, yeah, food is big with me. Like, especially lunch. If I have a big meal, I'm usually done. Especially if I allow myself to sit down. If I'm like, oh man, I'm full, let me sit down for a minute. I'm out. I'm not getting back up.
I like to celebrate. It's like the fucked up thing about me is like, if I don't get enough done, and it doesn't need to be content. It could be whatever. It could be work shit. It could be anything, drawing. It could be anything. If I don't get enough done at the end of the day, I don't feel good. And like, I like that the evenings for me are free time. I like that to feel like I did it. I made it through the day and got a ton of shit done, and now I can celebrate, put the music on, get the kids going, like let's dance, let's sing, let's fucking have a good evening, and then back to reality. There goes gravity, the next morning.
Okay, goes ravioli.
So like I have to to answer his question, I definitely can fall into a spell of laziness if I don't put restrictions on myself that I abide to, like I'm in a fucking cell. Yeah. Like a CEO is walking the cell doors and he's like, everybody out on the fucking front. Like, I have to treat my life like that, or I will take the path of least resistance.
Yeah, it's easy to do, man. I mean, some days I'm like, this coming Saturday, I ain't doing shit. Like I'll plan a lazy
it out.
day.
I mean, that's good. That's different. That's like vacation time. Yeah. Like that's day off. But I don't know if it's laziness. I get into like a lazy day or days if I get overwhelmed. Like for you have to have a regimented schedule of like when to do stuff. I have to have a regimented like task. I'm like, I'm gonna do this and don't look at anything else, because sometimes if I look at everything, I get overwhelmed. I'm like, I'm not doing.
And then
anything.
you get discouraged.
It's too much. It's fucking too much.
It's discouraging.
Exactly.
Yep, so like, I get that too. I get that one too, 100%. And I also feel like sometimes if I am overwhelmed, I do this thing. Like, let's take like the basement. It's not in the best shape it's ever been in, but it's pretty well kept today. It was a fucking disaster on Saturday. And I was overwhelmed by the disaster. So you know what I do? Make sure something's always in my hand. That's like my rule.
That's my dick, though. I mean, not your hand on my dick.
Hey, you know what? That's probably the best joke you ever got off of me, Joe, so to speak. But like I just make sure that I'm always picking something up, like whatever it is, because if it's just one thing, it's still progress towards the greater goal. And then before I know it, I've made an impact on it. Like I do it all the time. Like just pick up something. Just pick up something. Doesn't matter what it is. Pick one thing up.
That's a good move. I like that. I'm gonna steal.
Do you ever get into like a rabbit hole though, where like you end up doing a bunch of shit you didn't mean to do, or like you end up unpacking a lot of stuff you didn't want to unpack?
Sometimes, but I would say it's
Let me make this one cut, and then next thing you know, you've been cutting shit for like 8 hours.
I would say that's more rare for me, only because usually my day is pretty mapped out ahead of time. The only time that it gets is when I do something I don't normally do and find something that distracts me. Like, for instance, I shout out to Max. I don't even think he listens to shit, but he bought my my Bad Cube Huffer like a year ago.
Okay,
and I forgot.
Oh my God.
I forgot to send it to him?
No, I forgot he bought it.
Oh, okay.
Because he was like, look, just keep it to your Fans Toys when it comes on as a placeholder, do your verses and everything, and then I'll come back and pick it up. And I was like, okay, I almost sold it to somebody else. And then he hit me up and he was like, hey man, this week could be a good time. And I was like, oh yeah, 1 minute. Hit the other guy up. I was like, hey, by the way, I can't sell that to you. My bad. Fuck that up. My bad. That's on me. But I need to find like the instructions and all that shit. And I know it's in a tote in there, but that's something I don't normally do, right? So I went in there recently and I pulled out a tote and I got to looking through the bags. I was like, you know what? Maybe let's just swap out some of these accessories. Got distracted. Got on a whole nother fucking tangent. Didn't accomplish the one thing I set out to accomplish. Instead, did a whole bunch of other shit that I didn't give a fuck about.
Yep. Right. That's what I'm talking about, man.
What happens.
That shit happens.
Yeah.
It's nice to know sometimes other people have the same like weird things, and it's not just you.
Joe S. He says, hey, Spell Ragers.
Wow.
It's off the rails now.
I don't write in much, but last week's Batman conversation reminded me of something I've been meaning to ask. If you could take one property, character, or franchise and flat out ban any new product or fiction production for a minimum of 5 years, who would it be and why? For me, I think I'm at a place where I would pick Star Wars as my property involving any character from the original trilogy. I don't need any more Mandos, Yodas, or Skywalkers. I love kind of mostly what we have, but the plates are full. What do you guys think? I think what you think, Joe. And P.S. My wife and I are nearing the end of our moving household, and thanks for helping keep me sane while everything I give two shits about has been packed up for way too long. God, is there anything worse than moving? So first of all, congratulations on your move. Secondly, yes, there is something worse than moving is moving because of a divorce. So there's, there's a good thing there. But
yeah, that does suck.
But yeah, Star Wars would be mine. I need a break from the original trilogy. I've been saying it for God knows how long.
I don't hate anything enough, or I don't dislike anything enough to like take it away from other people. Like the things I don't enjoy that other people enjoy.
That's fair.
So I can
very mature of you, Joe.
The things I just don't need to partake in. You know,
Joe the humanitarian. I always say.
You know, it has such a deep lore. I think it's time just to maybe let Fast and Furious. Just let it breathe for a while, Bobby. Just let it breathe. People aren't getting any younger. Well, I mean, they're doing this 10 and 11, and I have a feeling we'll get those 5 years until they reboot it with people's children and whatnot.
Jeez.
So this was from Dave, who wrote in and said his title was "You ever suck dick for coke?" So.
It's a Bob Saget reference.
Yes, from Half Baked. Hey, what's up, gentlemen? I'm Dave from Germany again. To follow up about how I found you guys, I stumbled on another podcast when I searched nerd stuff on Apple Podcasts. I tried that show for 5 hours. They talked about the same kind of stuff you guys do, comic movies, etc., but their group of guys just didn't have good chemistry like you guys. Oh, how you doing? I'm not a collector of figurines. I love that shit. I love the figurines.
Hey, listen.
Bro.
You can't have figurines without urine. Keep that in mind.
But I can enjoy listening about it and learning more about it as an outsider. To be honest, they sounded pathetic and pitiful when talking about any subject, but I stuck through for 5 shows to see if it got better. It didn't. I firmly believe these poor guys still live in their parents' basement with a strong whiff of virginity still intact.
I mean, I don't know what podcast he's talking about, but I know,
want to know.
But well, I also know podcasts that are just like that.
After the 5th show,
he's firing shots too.
dude, truth. After the 5th show, I scrolled down and I hit the "you may also like" area and saw your cover art and thumbnail and thought it looked cool. That's how I found you guys. I left a 5-star review because you guys deserve it for sure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You guys seem pretty knowledgeable about comic book movies. I enjoy both Marvel and DC for what they are worth. I understand they have different tones to them and the ideas about the constructive for fans' consumption. Marvel's take on an expansive universe that connects everything is great because I feel the time I invest in a movie isn't wasted because it continues the story of a good book with new chapters.
Yes.
Even the not so great movies like Thor 2 were okay. I like Thor 2.
Me too.
But I respect
I'm
that
with you
it
on
still
that.
has meaning because it ties everything together. I think here's my hot take. You ready for some strays? Thor 2 is the best Thor movie ever made. Don't at me.
Dang it, Bobby.
Hey, that worked out great.
Even my missteps are in the right direction. In your opinion, will DC? In your opinion, will DC ever truly get to this point, or will it not? Should it just continue to do reboots, soft reboots, or IPS or product? Dude, I don't know, man. Like,
If they give it 5 years and didn't put anything out and start over, maybe.
I think they should have. I think Warner Brothers' biggest mistake was getting in the way of Zack Snyder. Love or hate what he did with those movies, he had a singular vision.
He had a vision. He had a path, and it got like all kinds of sidetracked, and you can't go back anymore.
I'll tell you, I hope that if they continue with this Batman world, which I assume they are, the Pattinson verse, I hope it's many, many years before we introduce any other superheroes into that. Any like super, like extraterrestrial, super powered
I always
people.
think
I'm
Batman
okay with
works
it staying
best without.
separate.
That's the one. I know you like it and with Justice League, but like,
Yeah.
and you know I'm way over Batman, but like the Batmans I do like are with just him and his world.
Yeah, like I think that this one in particular is just like, it just, I'm good with it just being on its own.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine fucking introducing Justice League somehow to fucking Nolanverse? That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't work either.
Yeah.
But the Affleck one works. It feels like that Batman belongs in a place with crazy things happening.
Right.
Because he's crazy. Some quick questions. What's the difference between a cord, a cable, and a wire?
Ice.
So a cable to me runs information. Just as I generally use it, a cable to me runs information from one thing to another thing. A cord runs power from one thing to another thing, and a wire makes up a cord or a cable.
I can co-sign most of that. Yeah.
That's usually how I use the word.
For cable is like connecting to devices. For
Yes.
cord is connecting to an outlet.
Correct.
And wires
Are just part of
the innards.
Yeah.
Yeah, or they could also be, like the inside of a computer is just full of wires that aren't necessarily part of cords or cables.
Yes.
Yeah, but usually when I think about wire, I don't even think about it in that sense as like with hobby stuff, like a wire for wrapping.
Oh, right.
And then, of course, Ware Wallace.
Is cereal a soup?
Yes.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
breakfast soup.
Well, it has to sit long enough. That's the difference between. That's what makes. No, listen. That's what makes soup soup.
That's
you
fair.
can't throw
That's
potatoes
fair.
and chicken and
That's
noodles
fair.
in water and it's not soup. You let
fair.
it fucking sit for a while and then it becomes soup.
You have a notebook that if you write someone's full name into it and a cause of death, then 60 seconds later that person would die of whatever reason you wrote.
Death Note?
Heart
what that
attack,
is?
Yeah, that's Death Note.
hit by car, you name it. Would you use it for good or evil?
I mean, we haven't. Look, I don't know if this is
It's relative.
if you know or don't know. I'm assuming you know, and this is a reference to Death Note. But if you don't, there's a whole entire series that explores that idea to an amazing degree.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Not even in my I don't even think I have a worst enemy.
I think there's probably some global opportunities to.
Yeah, but
There are, but it's
that's fine. It's a slippery slope.
yeah, exactly.
It's a slippery slope. Like next thing you know, someone cut you off on the road.
Right.
Like, fuck
For the greater good, you are a menace.
You just pull up next to him. Excuse me, man. What's your name? Follow that motherfucker all the way to where he works. Hey, I was just kidding. What's your name, man? Or you get in a car accident with him just so he can exchange information?
Let me see it.
Bro, you just wrote a really fucked up movie. You just wrote a really fucked up movie.
Besides this podcast, do you guys do any other podcast shows? So yes.
Yeah, I do Enter the Realm on the Realm Collectors YouTube every Monday live. I'm on there most Mondays.
Yeah.
And on a regular basis, that's that and this.
Joe?
I do Dante's once in a while when he asks. And I'm on Twitch, which is like a podcast.
Yeah. I do a bunch of podcasts, but they're all on Patreon.
Basically anyone that asks Bobby to do a podcast, he will, other than this one guy who asked wrong.
yeah, there's one person in the world.
Straight shots.
There's only,
Everyone's getting shot.
He gets a direct shot. There's one person in the world I ever said no to for a podcast, and it's because he didn't ask me. He just said, "You'll be doing it," and I was like, "Guess what? Guess what?"
Wow.
Anyway, I do a show I do two shows with my wife. One is called Bobby Boogie Bop on Patreon, where we break down an artist and we do all of their
musical artists.
Yeah, like a music artist, and we do their whole history. So this last month that went up was Janet Jackson. And then this next month, April, is Wu-Tang affiliates.
Oh, God.
The Wu-Tang Extended Universe?
Yeah, so that we could put a pin in Wu-Tang.
Extended Universe.
We had a whole bunch of requests for Wu-Tang. We're officially done. We've covered it all at this point. And then I'm really excited about the one after Wu-Tang, but I don't want to spoil it yet. It's very obscure. But it's one of those, if you know, you know, and it doesn't matter. It's a music show, and it's my favorite thing to do on the fucking planet. Period. Like if my wife was like, I can give you a blowjob, or we could do a music show, I'd probably do the music show.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, like I enjoy the fuck out of it.
Wow.
So and I quite enjoy the other bit too.
The brain box.
Yeah, the brain box. And then we do a show called Wine and Cheese, where we kind of talk about like marital problems and marital challenges and kid problems and raising children and life shit. And, you know, we've covered everything from fucking politics to, you know, should we get our kid a phone, you know, and everywhere in between. And then Dummies is kind of a podcast. The uncut version of that is on Patreon. It's usually like an hour long, even though the YouTube video is like 10 minutes. And then me and a person who I won't name publicly, but he works in third party. Him and I do a show on Patreon called Shop Talk, where we just talk about Transformers, really, from a more kind of inside baseball perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do a fuck ton.
Yeah, you can check out Bobby's old podcast. Cast Uncut.
And then I'll tell you,
you went on for 320 some episodes or some shit like that.
Yep. And then also on Patreon, there's a bunch of like Joe and I did a bunch of fucking movie commentaries and stuff. There's a bunch of shit on there.
We're still going to do that at some point.
Yeah, and I just bought a memory card for the little portable unit. I was holding it up.
Oh damn.
And then that was it. So sorry for writing so much. I'm bored at work. No apologies needed. And then our last one, and it's a new one. Oh wait, no. This isn't even a question.
Is it about your car insurance?
No, it's a company that wants to offer a voicemail thing for our podcast.
I don't think we need that.
Yeah, we don't need that.
No, because we're at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
There it is. Plug. Wrong one. Fuck.
It works.
Oh, well.
It's fine.
I did want to say thanks to everybody that ordered a blanket. The good news is I was able to get the orders in like the same weekend that the fucking order closed, which is unheard of for me.
Awesome.
And the Sherpas have already shipped,
Woo.
which is also kind of nuts. And the wovens ship Thursday. So the day that you hear this, the wovens have shipped.
The shit, though, just to be clear, they've shipped to you.
Yes.
Not to them.
Sorry.
Well,
Yes,
I didn't get a
yes.
tracking number.
Yeah.
Do you have
No. You're right.
Tracking number.
You're right. Good call. And I was trying to why do I feel like there was something else I was supposed to mention before we got the fuck out of here? Yeah, I think that's it. If not, I'll mention it next week, I guess. Fucking good show.
Yeah, man.
Good show. So shout out to everybody on the Cool Table. If you listen to this, as far as I'm concerned, you're part of the Cool Table as well. And shout out to the rest of the Nerd Rage team. Shout out to Phil for doing all the notes. We used a ton of them this week, Phil. And it also handles our Twitter. Shout out to Dante on the Facebook, Raul on Instagram, and anybody else who may help behind the scenes. And with that,
Flap your labias.
Tasty taint.
tight dick player.